Welcome back for the second session. Joydeep was. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good afternoon, sir. Before we start the session, I would like to give a brief about CCA Anyone, Dr. Jaydeep Guha, sir. Sir belongs to IPTAP's 1998 batch. Sir has completed post-graduation in chemistry from Jadavpur University. Sir has also completed doctoral research from IIM Calcutta on efficacy of using ICT in overcoming coordination barriers in local government. Sir has authored a number of books and chapters and papers in international journals.
Sir, no voice, sir. We are not getting the audio, sir.
Am I audible now?
Audio is clear. Maybe problem on your side.
No, sir. Very low voice, sir.
But
I think you should increase the volume because I can hear my voice in the other systems logged in from here. Sir is also a member of various committees of Department of Post and Telecommunications. Now, sir is presently working as CCA NE1 Shillong. So, I welcome you, sir, and I request you to kindly start the session.
Thank you, Amarnath, and welcome all the participants of the Eastern region. Harshvardhan has already set the tone for this session, so I will straight away start off with my presentation. Amarnath, let me share my PPT. If there is any problem from my side, then you will take over. Okay.
Sir, you are presenter now. You can kindly share the PPT.
Okay, thank you. So, in this session, I am supposed to address issues relating to the various financial terms and conditions, the various compliances that the service providers or licensees have to comply with. And as Harshvardhan has already said that the Indian telecom sector is guided by the Indian Telegraph Act of 1885, which gives complete monopoly of providing telecommunication services to the Government of India. And the Government of India, under the new telecom policies, decided that it is no longer possible for it to provide all the services, and it is more prudent to involve private sector entities for providing various services. That's when the concept of license came into existence. For various services, for various service areas, Government of India or the Department of Telecommunication issued licenses, and various private entities applied for licenses and got allotted. So, the business that you are doing it on behalf of the Government of India. That's why the concept of license fee comes in, because government has shared or partaken its right over monopoly and given a part of that monopoly right to you, and due to that the government expects a certain amount of license fee from you. So with this brief word, I will start. So in this presentation, I will try to cover some of the general guidelines, the license fees payable, various interest, penalties, and I will also give you a few examples of how delayed payment or short payment of license fee can lead to serious complications by way of levy of interest and penalty. the various documents that one has to submit along with the license fee payments every quarter, the annual documents, the deduction claims, what are allowed and what are not, reconciliation statement, licenses, and most importantly, what are the common errors? Because particularly in my circle, in the northeastern region, whether it is any one or any two, we deal with very small ISPs. That is, I won't say what I mean by small is the volume of business is very low. In many cases, it's a one-man or two-man business. So there's a lot of gap in understanding on the ISP side about what they are supposed to do and what they are actually doing. And this lands them in a lot of trouble. And I'm sure such issues will be there not only in the any region, but in all the other circles as well. So some of the common errors, the traps that one needs to avoid in order to stay in business. So first of all, as I said, the license is given by the Department of Telecommunication. Licensee signs with the DOT, and after signing the license, the licensee submits a bank guarantee to the DOT. This bank guarantee is sent to the concerned CCA for maintenance. Maintenance means we monitor whether the bank guarantee is being renewed on time, whether the bank guarantee has to be invoked, whether there has to be an additional bank guarantee to be given. All those decisions are taken at the respective CCA level. Now, there's a common misconception among many ISPs that their obligation with as regards the license agreement starts from the date on which they commence business. No, that's not the case. Because in the agreement, there is only one date which is sacrosanct. That's date of signing of the agreement. So that means the moment you sign the sign the agreement, all the terms and conditions, obligations under the licensing agreement becomes applicable to you. And the licensees are required to submit the various documents to the CC offices from that date onward. The date of commencement can be later. In fact, the license agreement provides that you have a period of 1 year from date of signing of the agreement within which you can start the operation. If you start the operation beyond this 1 year period, then a minimum license fee will become payable. Otherwise, during the first year, when this moratorium is there, you are not required to pay license fee unless you start the business immediately. So that means date of commencement of this operation or 1 year from date of signing of the agreement. That's when the LF requirement comes into existence. The various documents that you have to submit, some of them are on a quarterly basis, some of them are on annual basis. So for this purpose, the quarters are divided into the April, June, July to September, these months. So that is, quarters are financial year wise, not calendar year wise. But more importantly, the moment you sign an agreement with the DOT headquarters, you are required to submit to the CC office a copy of the license agreement, your company's CIN number, and contact details. Otherwise, at times what happens, the licensee signs the agreement, does not inform the CC offices, and the CC office also is in the dark about a licensee coming into existence. And this licensee remains silent for a year or two, and then suddenly when we realize that there is an X or Y licensee that has already been in existence for the past 2 years and has not paid any license fee, then the penal provisions of the license agreement starts. Apart from that, getting the contact details is also important because there are telecommunication is a continuously changing field. It's one of the most dynamic fields in the Indian economy. So there are changes in the telecom policies, there are changes in the policies regarding LF, the LF table, all those things. So if we have the contact details, then whenever there is a change, we can inform you about those contact details. Otherwise, you will be in the dark about many of the changes that are taking place, and on a later date, you will find that you have failed to comply with things that you are not aware of. That's why it is important for you to immediately contact us after getting the license agreement signed. Yes. So the license fee that is payable is 8% of the adjusted gross revenue. Now, here, as one of the participants had raised an issue in the previous session, not one, I think two participants had raised an issue that you are making a loss, but you are still required to pay them. Yes, because the license fee payable is not dependent on your profit. It is dependent on the adjusted gross revenue. That is your revenue. Why is this? Because if we go by the profit and loss, in that case, there are many ways in which a company can show loss in its books of accounts and deprive the government of the license fee dues. So, for us, we take it this way, that you have got a license. Under the license, you are required to provide certain service and earn certain revenue. Now, if you are incurring a loss, then that's not due to anything related to the license or to the government. It's due to certain business practices or business environment about which the government is not at all involved with. That's why the LF payable by the licensees, this is not just for the ISPs but for all licenses, the LF payable is not linked with the profit or loss. It's linked with the revenue that you are earning after deducting for certain admissible deductions. As I said, if you have not started the operation even after 1 year from date of signing of the license agreement, then after completion of 1 year, you are required to pay a minimum license fee of 10% of entry fee from second year onwards till you start commencement of the business. There are many licensees who start their business 2 or 3 years after getting the license, and they are under the mistaken impression that as long as they are not starting the business or starting the operation, they are not liable to pay license. No, that is something which gets you into a lot of trouble. So you have to pay the minimum license fee after 1 year. Now, regarding this, another issue that comes into that becomes very important is that, as I said, the license fee payable is, I think there's a question. Yes. 10% each quarter, that it is 10% annually, which has to be paid on a quarterly basis. So, there's another question, I think. Yes, I have already explained that you have to pay this minimum license fee after 1 year, even if you have not commenced business, because government had granted you a license to provide telecom services and earn revenue and has given you 1 year for commencing business. If you are not able to commence business within 1 year, then that's a problem that you have to tackle. And the license fee agreement starts immediately on completion of 1 year. Now, regarding this revenue, that is, since license fee is payable on the revenue and not on the profit, that's a very important thing. Actually, this is something which really created havoc in the telecom sector, because in many cases, your profit and loss account will contain items of revenue which are not related to this ISP license. In fact, we have some cable operators over here who are mainly providing cable services. Along with that, they are also having this ISP license. For them, their main business is the cable business. And the ISP revenue is minuscule compared to the revenue that they earn from the cable. There's another ISP which is involved in computer hardware maintenance and supply business. Along with that, it has also taken an ISP license. So its revenue from the computer hardware business is about 20 times more than the revenue that they are getting from the ISP license.
Hello.
Yes.
Can I put forward some questions?
Yes, tell me.
So we have just acquired five UL licenses in 5 states. I want to know, as you're saying that LF will start only from the second year. So second year from the registration, or if we are exempted from the filing the nil return even.
I didn't get it. Please repeat.
We have acquired 5 UL licenses. Okay, for the ISPB.
Yes.
Now, my ask is this: where we will start, where our liability will come to file the return, quarterly return.
The quarterly return. So the quarterly return during the first year, if you have not commenced operation, then you are not needed to submit the quarterly returns during the first year because you have not commenced the operation. But the moment you commence the operation, if it is within 1 year, then from that day onwards, your obligation starts. And if you are not able to commence operation even after 1 year, even then.
I got your point, sir. I got your point. There's another question, with your permission.
Yes.
Whenever we get the accounts audited at the time of assessment, what they do, anything created to the PL of the balance of the account, what they do, they used to charge 8% of that. So what will happen in case of the interest? We are borrowing fund. We are borrowing fund to get the BG. Earlier, the BG was 20 lakhs for the ISPB and all. So we are entitled for the interest netting.
No, you are not entitled to the.
How come, sir? That's something I wanted to know.
Because see, in the loan that you are taking.
No, this in. Okay, sir, go on.
So whatever loan you are taking, be it in the by way of getting a bank guarantee or any business, it's basically related to your overall business practice. It is not related to the providing the service. As I said, for us, what is most important is what revenue you are earning, and there are certain deductions which are admissible. And interest or write-off of losses, these are inadmissible items. That's why you are not supposed to get this unless there is a change in the policy. But as far as my understanding goes, there is very little likelihood of changing in this policy because of certain deep-rooted reasons. I hope I have answered your question. I may not have satisfied you, but I have answered your questions. Yes? So as I was saying, since the It is the revenue on which the license fee is payable. So, for businesses or for entities which are having multiple businesses, and the ISP business is one of them, for them it creates a problem because when it comes to calculation of the AGR, we will take into account all your revenue streams and not just the revenue from ISP services. That's why if you have a business which is from which we are getting much more revenue compared to your ISP business, then it is better to hive off your ISP business and form a separate entity for that. Otherwise, license fee will become payable on your total revenue from all services because your PL account will reflect the total revenue from all services. So it's an advice that if it is possible, then at the time of getting license, you create a separate entity for the ISP license. Otherwise, your license fee dues will become very high. And as I said, license fee is to be paid on a quarterly basis. One question was there, this 10% minimum. So whether it is 10% or 8% of the AGR, it has to be paid on a quarterly basis. And for these, there are specified dates. For the first quarter, you have to pay within 15th July. For second quarter, within 15th October. For third quarter, 15th January. For the last quarter, you have to pay by 25th March based on whatever revenue was there for the third quarter. And if in the fourth quarter your revenue is more than the third quarter's revenue, then the balance license fee you have to clear by 15th of April. So these are very important dates. Yes.
I have a query, sir.
Yes.
Uh, as you said, we have to pay the license fee 8% of AGR.
Hmm.
So, what happen if we hold any terminal equipment which I have purchased in some amount, and how to calculate the adjusted gross revenue in that case, sir?
Yeah, there's a lot of echo. Can you type your message because the sound is not clear from your side?
Yeah, I am. Sir.
Okay. So I couldn't hear your question properly. So it would be better if you type your message in the question in the chat box. I will respond to that. Now, what happens if you are?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So I have a question. What has happened? Last year we got our accounts and assessment for the last year. What they do, we have written back some income, uh, resembling some credits we don't have to pay. So what we do, we write it back. We get it created in the profit and loss account. So department has charged 8% on that. That is not reasonable. Reason being, that is not the income. That is only the return back things. So how could you explain this?
This is also something which relates to the overall
And
policy.
another thing is that what we have to do, we have to procure the BG, we have to make FDRs, TDRs, FDRs, and in the process we earn interest. Okay, so we are paying interest and we are earning interest on the FDR. That should be netted. That would be our income. So that
As
is
I said,
not allowed.
that is not allowed. That is not allowed. Interest income is not an.
But that to earn that revenue, I have to spend that money. Na? We have to spend the money to borrow the fund to make the FDR. And FDR making income only if we have borrowed the fund. So that should be netted. I think so.
As on date, there is no scope of netting of this interest. But I can tell you
So
that
my
have a
my contention is that, sir, my contention is that to earn that very interest, we have to pay some money, to pay some consideration. Unless we borrow the fund, how could we make the FDR? and FDR is not met, then BG will not be met. So to earn that very interest, we are paying the interest on the borrowed fund. So that should be netted.
Actually, as I said, the interest as on date, it is not admissible one. However,
Okay, sir, I got your point.
there is a, I think, a review of these bank guarantee requirements and other things, the means through which we can securitize our dues from the ISPs. So, certain thought processes are underway. I don't know whether that will be making up the interest or not, but I think there are likely to be certain developments in
So,
near future.
and I have another question. The question is, why ISP-B earlier the licenses we are getting, and before 2013 or something like that, they only pure interest, internet revenue were exempted. Now under UL it is chargeable. What is the justification for this?
One has migrated from one license to another license. So the terms and conditions of UL license, you cannot compare that with the terms and condition of the earlier ISP ABC licenses. It's a new
Okay.
license that is introduced.
Okay, sir. I got your point. Thank you.
So as I mentioned that these dates are important, dates for payment of the license fees. Now, why it is? Because if there is any delay in payment, then you have to pay a penal interest of MCLR plus 2%. And for this purpose, a part of the month will be considered as a full month. So supposing you was required to pay the LF dues by 15th July, you paid it on 16th July. So for one day, you will have to pay penal interest for 1 month. So that's why it's very important to stick by the pay by dates. And it is also important to pay the appropriate LF, because if the LF that you have paid is less than or falls short by more than 10% of the LF payable, then you are in for trouble, because in that case a penalty of 50% of the shortfall will be levied. And on this 50% of the shortfall, if there will be further delay in payment, then once again it will get compounded with MCLR plus 2% as penalty. So this really leads you to a complete mess. However, there is one escape route, that the financial year ends by 31st March, and whatever shortfall is there, if you make good that shortfall within 60 days from the end of the financial year, then the penalty will not be imposed. But the delayed payment interest will always be. So, even if you have made some short payment and you have detected it, then clear it within 60 days from close of the financial year. You will be saved from payment of the penalty, but not from the penal interest. Now, this is
Excuse me,
something.
sir.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. From 1st October 21, this penal provision has been withdrawn. So will you update later on, or you should tell us here only? We leave it
No,
to you, sir.
this penal provision, whether it has been withdrawn or not, I am not going to tackle that in this particular presentation.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Just. So, this is the type of problem that the ISPs used to get in. The impact of short payment. For example, there was a 25,000 rupees unpaid for each quarter of 2021. That means 4 quarters, it's 1 lakh rupees is unpaid. So, by the end of 2025, the shortfall penalty, interest on penalty, normal interest, everything taken together, this 1 lakh rises to more than 10 lakh. And we have real life cases over here which are even far more serious, where the total penalty and interest due has become nearly a crore. So that's why it is very, very important to clear the license fee dues and not fall into the trap of this penal interest, because as you may be knowing, the large telecom operators, they contested the deduction claim policy of the government, just as you are asking that why interest is not to be negated and other things. So they also raised certain questions, and that filed a case. That case went on for years, and during this period, they went on paying the license fee dues as per their own calculation. Since there was a case, so we did not impose any coercive condition to recover those LF dues. But eventually, the decision from the court came, and the decision was in favor of the government. And as a result of this decision, the total amount that was payable, that has become payable by these telecom service providers, is much, much more than the shortfall that was there. And that actually created, what should I say, created a turmoil in the telecom sector. That's why even if you are not agreeing, even if there is a case, it is always better to be on the safe side and pay the dues as per department's calculation. If there is a judgment in favor of you, then you can get back those amount refunded. But if the judgment goes against you, then for the entire period, the penalty, interest, and all those things will become applicable, and you will be really in a very bad financial condition. The quarterly documents that you have to submit along with the LF payment is, first of all, the unaudited AGR, because you will be doing your auditing only once in a year. So for every quarter, you have to submit your unaudited AGR. The LF payment, the demand draft, or if you are paying through the Saras or Bharat Kosh, then the LF payment details. An affidavit signed by ISP's representative, which is who is authorized by the board resolution and the general power of attorney. Now, in this case, I would say that we come across many cases where this either the affidavit is not there or the resolution is not proper. So I'm just showing you a sample thing. So it's a very simple thing that board of directors met on so and authorized so and so person to act as the authorized representative. So that's the board authorization. That's a very simple thing, but it has to be there every time you submit the documents along with the LF payment. Also, a statement of revenue share and license fee payable, that has to be certified by the auditor. So for that also, there is a particular format, you can say. So this is something, this is a format in which you can submit it. So I'm showing this because on many occasions, we are finding that the ISPs are submitting the documents, but the documents are not as per the required format or does not contain certain important things, as a result of which we consider that the document has not been submitted and we have to get into correspondence with the ISP. And what is the net result of this? Supposing you submit your document on the due date, but the documents that you submit on the due date are incomplete or not in proper format. So we write a letter to you, you get it rectified, and you send it to us, say 3 months after. Now, during these 3 months, we are unable to do your license fee assessment. When you give us the required documents, we do the assessment at that point of time. And by the time we do the first assessment, already interest and penalty has crept in. So the more complete documentation you submit, the faster the assessment will be, and then your liability for payment of the other penal provisions will decrease. The possibility will decrease, and the more prolonged process it will be.
Joydeep having some problem, connectivity problem? Joydeep, Amarnath, please look into what is the problem.
We are not able to. We are not able to hear you, sir. There is no voice at all.
Are you able to listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You are audible.
Okay, we will manage this. Amarnath, please look into what is the problem with Joydeep.
Yes, sir. Sir will be back online soon due to our problem there. Kindly wait.
Sir, we can make use of this time. Sir, the penalty provision are no more enforceable from 1st October 21. I think those things should be taken care in this conversation, because licensee should be aware of the existing provisions. These are the provisions which are applicable till 30th September 21.
Mr. P.S. Sani, actually the host who is making presentation CCA Northeast is having some connectivity problem. So he will reply to you. By that time, I request if anybody from Principal CCA office is available.
Sir, with your permission, can I enter?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The licensee is correct. These provisions, like at the time of assessment, these will like it shall be brought to their knowledge also, and in penal discussion also, when senior authorities, principal CCs, senior authorities are there, these will be shared. So yes, in his information, he's correct. From 1st of October, like third quarter of the current fiscal, penalty provisions have been they have been removed, sir.
Okay, thank you. I think Mr. Sani, your query is resolved.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, thanks.
Thank you. अमरनाथ जॉयदीप ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं क्या हुआ?
Sir is still trying, sir.
Anyone CCA from Bihar, Odisha, Assam, can they continue with his with PPT of Mr. Joydeep Guha?
Sir, it will take 5 more minutes for Joydeep sir to join back. Meanwhile, if any question and answer queries are there which were written in the inboxes also, I would request the participants, they can raise those questions one by one.
Harshvardhan, you can reply the queries. By that time, Joydeep is connected. Huh? Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Sanjeev Kumar Pandey ji.
Yes, please
Excuse
go
me.
ahead. Go ahead, please.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, as per the new circular, circular number 20271 oblique 2010, AS1 volume 5, I have also written in a chat box,
Okay.
dated 25th October 2021.
Okay.
In that circular, the page number 25, point number DD,
Okay.
a point mentioned that here, deduct revenue of pass-through nature passed on to the other service providers, operator-wise details. Can you please explain this point?
Okay. This you are reading from the Telecom Reforms 2021.
Yes, sir.
Yes. See, with these reforms, the past we have a UL regime, Unified License Regime, and we have non-UL internet service providers. Okay. So, 1 second. So the pass-through charge, the revenue which is of pass-through nature, it means again, to take an example, for a particular call, if a part of the earnings that I make from the consumer, the customer, if I pass on a part of that earning to other party, that is the pass-through charge. So in the VNO license agreement, UL VNO, the expenditure of this nature is allowed as deduction from gross revenue.
Okay, sir. As per the requirement, we have deduct our purchases and sales
Of bandwidth?
bandwidth, sir.
Yes. So for VNO, UL VNO, it is a permissible deduction. But
Sir, it is only applicable for UNO, VNO, or all category A, B, C licenses, UL licenses.
It is applicable, like as of now, it is applicable only for VNO.
Only
In
for
the
VNO, not applicable for previously issued UL licenses for ISP category A, B, and C.
No. As on date,
Okay,
it is not applicable for non-VNOs. In your
but as per the circular, it is mentioned that all unified licenses.
Excuse me, sir.
Licenses mentioned.
Excuse me, sir. It is also applicable for UL ISP license.
I'm also confused, honestly.
No problem, sir. You can.
No problem, sir. Can you please explain if any other search available?
See, like as per my knowledge,
we will take up all the questions which are not resolved in the question answer session, which will start from 4 to 5, and it will have all the CCAs of Eastern region and also principal CCA of Eastern region. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That will be better.
Yes, I will be just repeating your query just to understand whether I am on the same page. Your query is whether the pass-through nature and the bandwidth charges paid by a UL ISP to other players is an admissible deduction. This is your question, right?
Yeah. If I may add here, the question would be if the pass-through is applicable on the payment that we make to our upstream providers for procurement of bandwidth.
Yes. Yes. Like for VNO part, I'm very confirmed. For VNO, this is an admissible deduction, but for non-UL, but for non-VNOs, I will also prepare, and in the panel discussion, let's see if we are able to resolve it. But as of now, I'm not confident in answering it. Excuse me for that, please.
Okay, Jyodeep may continue. Jyodeep, are you available now?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, actually, we also have, like, in our PNL account, we also have business in admission fees and also system integration work also we do in our company. So will that be included in the AGR? So I just want to confirm that.
Okay, ma'am, I can discuss this question with you rather than responding. I can discuss that Government of India in the recent telecom reforms has underlined the requirement of deducting the non-core income, the non-telecom or non-internet income from gross revenue. And a concept of applicable gross revenue has been introduced. That this will be the gross revenue. We will deduct all the non-telecom part from it. We will arrive at applicable gross revenue. And then there are permissible deductions. So this is the concept which Government of India has introduced through the Telecom Reforms 2021. But the part on which I'm not confirmed is whether this is applicable to your license also or not.
We have a unified license.
Like I am confirmed for all the telecom service providers that it is applicable to TSPs. For the internet service providers, I am not confirmed.
Okay, sir.
So we have only discussed that Government of India has already introduced the concept of applicable GR.
Okay, fine, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
পেনবিলৰ কথাটো বেলেগে সুধিলেতো এইমাত্ৰ নহয় নহয় এইমাত্ৰ সুধিলে ন সি ক'লে VNO ৰ কাৰণেতো ডিডাক্ট হ'ব কিন্তু আমাৰ কাৰণে এতিয়াও সি কনফাৰ্ম নহয় তো পেনেল ডিছকাশ্যনত হি উইল ডিছকাছ এবাউট ইট নহয় চাৰ্ভিচৰ কথাটোতো সি কৈছে ডিছকাশ্যনত চলি আছে ৰিফৰ্ম মতেতো
Request
2020
you, please mute your speaker if you don't mind.
Hello, sir. I had a small query.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, my basic question was that when I was checking the statement of revenue, I had seen in the third quarter there was an option where the interest and while calculating the AGR, there was a point that the FD interest or other charges were being deducted. But if the revenue is not from pure internet service, it would be any advisory fees and something like that. Would it be included in the calculation of AGR or not?
Yes, ma'am. It will be included. GR is an all-encompassing concept, so all kind of income will be included there.
Okay, sir. Understood. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I would like to add here from 1st October 2021, as you have told us that Government of India under the telecom reforms have brought in the principle of applicable GR, wherein this non-telecom revenue, which the ma'am has just explained, some admission fee or some other small revenue, these are to be excluded. And when you compute AGR, practically there will be no license fee on non-telecom revenue.
There is absolutely no contradiction between what you are saying and what I said. Sorry. Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Finally
Jyoti has joined. I think Jyoti may continue. Please, Jyoti.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. There is a power cut, and then over here with power cut, the internet also goes down. So I was unable to connect. So now,
No issue, sir. No issue. No issue, sir. It's part of our life, sir. No issue.
okay. So was there some discussion going on? So
Kindly tell me which slide you want me to share.
this interest and penalty I have completed. So after this, the next slide. Graph, this is also done. Then documents required, that was also done. Next slide. Annual documents. So no, annual documents.
Yes.
The previous one, yes. So apart from the quarterly documents, you are all the service providers are also required to submit certain documents at the close of the financial year. First, the audited quarterly AGR. So it's basically the quarterly AGRs in a statement type, where the 4 quarters AGRs are certified by the auditor. The audited PL account, along with notes to the accounts. Why I'm saying this? Because this year I got one of the service providers, not one, two. They submitted the PL account. One of the PL accounts was in a format which is which we didn't recognize that it is a PL account. It's not actually in the format of a PL account at all. And in another case, the PL account was there, but the notes to the PL account were not there. So it was incomplete thing. And as in the previous session, Harsh has said that if there is any difference between the gross revenue and the audited AGR, in that case, there has to be a reconciliation statement. Without this reconciliation statement, we will be taking the GR which is there in the PL account. We will not get into the AGR because, but to be really honest, without the this reconciliation statement, the assessment work will get held. So you have to submit this reconciliation statement. And this is for the first year of submission of the document, where you have a period when you had a business but you had not started the ISP license operation, and after a certain date you started the ISP operation. So from date of commencement of business, that marks a demarcation. So you have to submit figures separately for the revenue earned after commencement of business and revenue earned before commencement of business. And along with that, you have to submit documentary evidence of the revenue earned before commencement of the business. If you don't do this, then we will take the total revenue for the entire financial year and compute the LF dues. That's why bifurcation of the revenue into pre and post signing of agreement becomes important. And this is important only for the first year, because from second year onwards, you will automatically be charged for the entire year only. For category B license, circle-wise breakup, I think one of the Mr. Tiwari had raised one question that you have 5 UL licenses in 5 circles. So here you have to submit the circle-wise or service area-wise breakup of the revenue has to be provided. If you have 5, then 5 breakup into 5 circles. If you have 10, then breakup into 10 circles. And auditor certificate, which is given in the as a part of the license agreement. These are to be submitted even if your AGR is nil, because if your AGR is nil, even we need that certificate from the auditor that your AGR is really nil. And in that case, instead of the AGR, we will be calculating the LF assessment based on the minimum license fee. So this is a common mistake that many ISPs make. They feel that they think that my revenue is nil, so I need not submit any document. No, that's not the case. Next slide, please. Deduction. I was hearing this discussion that for deduction on account of pure internet services are not allowed in the UL agreement. For the VNOs, it is there. The TDSAT, some of the UL licenses had approached the TDSAT, and the TDSAT gave a decision that it is allowed, but the department has challenged that decision in the Supreme Court, and as a result of which, as on date, the department goes by the notion that it is not admissible, because we have already challenged this decision of the TDSAT in a higher forum. Now, here I will I will tell you 2 important things. First of all, there are certain ISPs who were not parties to the case that was filed in the TDSAT. They felt that this TDSAT judgment, which allows the deduction on account of pure internet services, is also applicable to them. And they started calculating their LF based on this erroneous notion. Now, in this case, since the department has not accepted the judgment of the TDSAT, so the policy remains that deduction on account of pure internet services are inadmissible for UL agreement. So parties or the ISPs which were part of the TDSAT case, we will not force them. But as regards the ISPs who are not part of the TDSAT case, this judgment for us is not at all applicable to them. So if you are calculating the LF dues on the mistaken notion that the TDSAT had given a judgment in favor of certain party XYZ, and that judgment is applicable to you, no. The government of India's functioning does not working that way. Unless the government accepts the decision of the TDSAT's judgment, the fact remains that for us, deduction on account of pure internet services is inadmissible. However, in case of the VNOs, it is admissible. There's a reason for that, because the VNO, the basic business model of the VNO, is based on purchase of bandwidth from service providers who have excess bandwidth and utilizing that bandwidth for the, should I say, providing service and earning revenue. So purchase of bandwidth for a VNO licensee, it is an integral part of his business because his business model is dependent on this. That is why it is applicable for the VNOs but not for the other UL licenses. If you are claiming service tax, deduction on account of service tax or GST, then you have to provide the details, the documentary evidence for that. Credit notes, if you are claiming anything, then you have to submit those credit notes. Next slide, please. Reconciliation statement, as I have already said, that whenever there is a mismatch between the PL account and the AGR, then you have to submit a reconciliation statement. And I've already covered this slide. So let's move to the next one. Next slide. The CCS can send notices to the licensees for various reasons. Whenever we send a notice to you, reply us immediately by email, but mere email communication will not work. You have to, whatever reply you are giving to us, you should submit that reply through normal post also. Based on the email, we will decide whether to hold the action that we had proposed to take or to go ahead with that. But we cannot hold that permanently. For that, we require your physical reply. Licenses should comply with the due date mentioned in the notice. This is very important. There are many instances where we give a due date, and whenever we issue a notice, there is always a date by which the notice has to be complied with. If you are not complying with the notice, that means I am free to take whatever action I had proposed to take. For example, if I had given you a notice that you submit this document by, say, 15th March, otherwise I will invoke your bank guarantee. If I do not receive the reply from you by 15th March, then I can go ahead with invocation of the bank guarantee without any further notice. Now coming to BG invocation, there are certain conditions. First of all, we can invoke your bank guarantee if you are not submitting the documents. We are asking you to submit the required documents, but you are not submitting it. Then we can go ahead with the invocation. You have not paid the license fee or other dues. Other dues means license fee, along with that, if there is any penalty or interest, all those things they are also dues. So if you are not paying that, then we can go ahead with the invocation. We can go ahead with invocation of bank guarantee if there is non-compliance with other conditions of license agreement. For example, non-renewal or delayed renewal of bank guarantee. In many cases, the ISPs failed to renew the bank guarantee within the due date. That is, the bank guarantee was valid up to a certain date. As per the license requirement, the ISP is required to extend the bank guarantee 1 month before its date of expiry. If it is not done, then we go ahead with the bank guarantee invocation, because that is a way of securitization of government dues. Now, next slide. Now, coming to this invocation of bank guarantee, there are certain, before these common errors, I will just say a few words about this invocation of bank guarantee. There's also a very common mistake among many service providers that supposing I have invoked bank guarantee of 1 lakh rupees. That means this 1 lakh rupees I am adjusting against your license fee dues payable to us. No, that's not the case. The purpose of the bank guarantee is that it is to securitize government dues. It is not for payment of your license fee dues. So if we are invoking the bank guarantee, then we are converting the bank guarantee into a cash security. So that amount can never be adjusted against your license fee dues. That either you have to submit a fresh bank guarantee and request us that the cash security may kindly be adjusted against my dues. We can consider that. Or you have to submit or you have to pay the license fee dues totally. You cannot go under the impression that a bank guarantee that has been invoked has already been adjusted against your license fee dues. That's not the case. And in fact, one of the very large telecom service operators, the All India license holders, has got into a huge trouble with this because it had gone under the impression that invocation of bank guarantee, the cash proceeds from that will be adjusted against their license fee and spectrum charge dues. But actually, that has not happened. And we have treated the license fee and spectrum charges dues as completely unpaid and have levied interest penalty and interest on penalty. So you should, if a bank guarantee has been invoked, resubmit the bank guarantee fresh. Next slide, please. Some of the common errors, along with the quarterly documents that we are submitting, many service providers do not submit the Saras or Bharat Kosh payment receipt. There are many occasions when notices are not replied to, and in certain cases, non-compliance with this or not responding to notices can lead to serious complication. Fresh bank guarantee needs to be submitted as soon as it is encashed. I have already elaborated on this in the last slide. And licensee do not intimate CCA office about any change in their contact details, email ID. Now, this will only harm you because if I am not having your updated contact details, then I won't be able to send you or you won't be able to receive important communications from us because legally we are required to send any notice to the last known address. So if that last known address or last known contact person has changed for you from your side and you have not intimated to us, we will go by the notion that the last known address which is known to us was sent a notice and it has been deemed to be delivered. And based on that, we will take appropriate action. So whenever there is a change in the person who does the liaison with the CCA office or your contact detail forms, that's for your own safety. Next slide, please. So this is another illustration of what type of complication can arise when the LF dues are not paid. So in this particular case, this is a real life case. I have not given the name of the licensee, but in this case, the total license fee dues in one particular year was 39 lakhs, and very soon this was say April 2016, that is financial year 16-17, the total due was 39 lakhs. The dues, there was short payment, and by end of financial year 1920, the total dues shot up to nearly 90 lakhs. Now, this does not take into account the license fee shortfall, the interest and penalties which became due from 2021, 2017-18 onwards. If we take that into account, then the total due increased to around 5 crore rupees. So this is just for 1 year's dues, the impact of LF, the principal, the penalty, interest on penalty, all those things is taken together, it reaches this point. Now, as regards the one issue that one of the participants had raised, that the government in its last, what should I say, policy had waived off this penalty. If you go into the details, there were 2 orders issued on that particular day, and the second order, as per the second order, this waiver of the penalty or penalty on the shortfall on LF, that is applicable, not applicable to the UL licenses or the ISPs. It's exactly. It is not applicable with retrospective effect. It is applicable from the date of issue of the order. That means if there are shortfalls already there, then the penalty, interest on penalty, they will be levied. They have already been levied. But maybe from the date of issue of this order, there is a change in the policy. So that's why I think you should be very clear about these things, that and try to avoid your own interpretation of the things. If you have any doubts, if you have any queries, then please consult the CCA office with which you are transacting. Because ultimately the interpretation of the CCA office will be the one which will determine the LF and the other dues that are payable by you. So if you go based on your own understanding of complicated things, then your understanding and the understanding of the department may not be on the same page, and in that case, as always, it's the department's view that will prevail. So that was the last slide in my presentation. My purpose of the presentation was not to frighten you about the penal provisions, but just to make yourself aware that license agreement is a legal document. It's an agreement, contract. So just as a contract gives you certain privileges like providing service, earning revenue, the contract also imposes certain obligations. And if you are unable to fulfill those obligations, there are penal provisions that will become applicable. And the CCAs or the department do not have any freedom to relax imposition of those penal provisions. So always be in touch with the CCA offices. Whenever you are in doubt, whenever you have anything to say, address those issues to the CCAs. You will get a response. And based on that, act. That's all I had to say in this session. And once again, I lost a lot of time due to this not only power shortage, but this breakdown of the internet. I'm sorry for that, but this happens in Shillong pretty frequently.
With due respect, sir, when we mentioned that penal provision are withdrawn, we also mentioned the applicable date, that is 1st October 2021.
Yes.
And prior
Yes.
to that, in the same order, it is mentioned that dues prior to 1st October 21 will continue to attract penalty and other charges.
Exactly. Because these, there are certain service providers who may interpret it that dues prior to this will not be covered by the interest penalty from this date.
No, sir. It is mentioned in the order.
Exactly. So I wanted to just remove any sort of ambiguity or confusion relating to that provision.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir.
So,
Any other question with the CCA Sri Joydeep Guha? Any participant who wants to ask any question?
So, sir, though these points has been it will be a repeat, but still I would like to raise for the larger knowledge of our participants. When in the first year from the signing of the license, in the first year when services are not yet operational and there is no revenue because services are not commenced, so there is no revenue. In that case, also the quarterly returns are to be filed, sir.
Quarterly returns have to be filed.
Even if services are not started and revenue is not there. Just wanted to confirm, sir.
You have to inform us that you have not submitted the you have not commenced operation. Because when do we know that the documents have become due from your side?
Sir, in the license condition, 15 days prior to start of service, we have to inform the department.
Exactly. So 15 days. So if in during this first year, when you have not commenced your operation, because there are service providers who commence the operation within 6 months of getting the license. So to be on the safe side, if you have not commenced business, just give a letter to us that we are yet to commence business, commence operation.
Sir, okay. So sir, effectively, you are saying that in case the services are not commenced, and certainly if the services are not commenced, then revenue is not there. Then in that case, in the first year, we need not to file any return. Am I right, sir?
It's not written because every quarter you are required to submit certain documents along with the license fee payments. So if there is no license fee payment, either be based on the AGR or based on the minimum license fee, there's no question of any documents over there. But to be on the safe side, inform us that you are yet to begin commence operation and your revenue is nil. So we'll consider that and keep declaring.
Sure,
Now,
sir. Sure.
Those documents will be there. The person who communicates to us that we have not commenced business, he has to submit that under proper authorization from the board of directors that he is authorized to communicate with us. Because anyone writing a letter to us, we will not be honoring that.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Hello, sir. Can I ask a question, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Sir, hello.
Yes.
Sir, can I ask one question related to Saras, sir?
Saras, I think in the post-lunch session, you have a full session.
The session will start on Saras at 2:30. Kindly
Okay, I have a query.
to Saras.
Hello.
All the questions will be replied. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hello,
There
sir.
will be a full session on Saras.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, sir, I have a question on behalf of my father. He has some concern for UL VNO license, which he has taken in 2017 year, and that was valid for 6 months. And he paid 1 lakh as guarantee in Delhi, and then again in 2019 he took a VNO license for 10 years, and again he paid 1 lakh as guarantee. So he has some concern regarding that. Yeah.
Valid for 6 months.
Yeah, in 2017. Sir, it will be very grateful if you can communicate with him in Hindi. I'm over handing him to this.
सर 2017 में हम लोग को लाइसेंस मिला था पहली बार यूएल VNO का।
अच्छा।
तो उसमें 6 महीने की वैलिडिटी थी, फिर भी हम लोग उसको कंटिन्यू AGR वगैरह जमा कर रहे थे। फिर 2019 में हम लोग को मिला कि 10 साल का आपको बैंक गारंटी 10 साल के लिए मिलेगा, उसका जो एंट्री फी है वो देना होगा और 1 लाख का बैंक गारंटी फिर से देना होगा। तो हम लोगों ने दिल्ली में फिर से 1 लाख की बैंक गारंटी बना के दी। तो वहां हम लोगों ने पूछा कि सर पुराना बैंक गारंटी हमारा कैसे रिलीज होगा, तो उन्होंने बताया कि वो पटना जाइए, आपको पटना में सीसी ऑफिस से। लेकिन सीसी ऑफिस में हम बोले तो अभी तक हम लोग को हर साल दोनों बैंक गारंटी रिन्यू करना पड़ रहा है और मेरा पुराना वाला बैंक गारंटी रिलीज भी नहीं हुआ है।
सीसीए बिहार ऑफिस से कोई है क्या ये पार्टिसिपेशन में?
Sachidanand, are you there? And or anyone from CC Bihar?
क्योंकि मुझे इस केस का फुल डिटेल्स पता नहीं है, तो इसलिए कमेंट करना ठीक नहीं रहेगा। सीसीए
Yeah.
बिहार ये डील कर रहे हैं, तो आइडियली उनके ऑफिस से अगर कोई रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं तो वो बेटर रहेगा मेरे ख्याल से।
Sachidanand, are you there? Or anyone from CC Bihar? Amarnath, you write down the question of Mr. Kumar. He can repeat again, and we will take up at the question answer session at 4 o'clock. Okay?
इसको लास्ट सेशन में टेकअप करना ही शायद बेटर रहेगा, क्योंकि ये बहुत अनयूजुअल सिचुएशन है।
जी सर, हमको दो लाइसेंस नंबर मिला हुआ है सर, और
ठीक है, हम आपका क्वेश्चन लेंगे फोर ओ क्लॉक। ओके, देयर विल बी क्वेश्चन।
ओके सर, थैंक यू। ओके सर, थैंक यू।
हेलो,
सीसीए बिहार से आएंगे, अदर ऑफिसर भी आएंगे, वो ज्वाइन करेंगे। ठीक है,
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
हेलो सर। Hello sir, I am Sandeep. Sir, good afternoon sir. Sir, I have one query regarding AGR based license fees payment. Sir, actually, sir, is it required to consider VoIP revenue in AGR based license payment while calculating AGR based license fee payment? Is VoIP is other income, or is whether considered in license fee payment? In
see, as I said, for calculation for arriving at the AGR, yes, the revenue is as good as your revenue. So revenue from all streams will be considered while arriving at the AGR.
Okay, sir.
That's why one of the suggestions that I gave key, if you have multiple business streams, then have a separate business for the ISP. This is particularly useful for ISP licensees who are having a bigger business in other streams.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I understand, sir. I understood. Thank you, sir.
Sir, my humble submission.
Yes.
Supreme Court in 2019 directed DOT to withdraw the demand raised under ISP licenses in case of Railtel and Power Finance Corporation and other PSUs. Because they raised the demands on their entire ISP revenue, including other revenue. So DOT then withdrew the demand against those PSUs and complied the Supreme Court order. So yes, this is what I wanted to bring to your knowledge,
I
sir.
know. But once again, that order was specific to the PSUs.
Correct, sir. Correct.
It was,
but sir,
it was not applicable to all the ISP licenses.
Yes, sir. Principles should. I am not saying that you just apply the principle, but my humble submission is that the principle should equally apply to all the licenses, not to the set of licenses.
Since this is a issue of the principle and a policy matter, so right, I think it would be appropriate to take up this during the last session, and okay, probably in the last session also we won't be able to give you a satisfactory answer to this, because we follow the guidelines issued by or the instructions issued by our headquarters. So as field units, we cannot give you anything which is not there in our headquarters instruction. So okay, it would be better if this message or this issue is conveyed to the competent authority in our headquarters. I think the NICF will be doing that. Whatever issues require policy intervention, they will be conveyed to the DOT headquarters.
Sure, sir. Sure. My submission is that since all the senior officers, most senior officers from Gittorni office and DOT headquarters are also there. So I just got an opportunity to raise this. So this is my humble submission.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
You have done it very well. You should always take these type of events or workshops to raise issues which are not addressed during the normal course of business. So this is the time when you talk with senior officers directly and you should use these opportunities to convey your feelings or if your problems, and let's see what we can do.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So,
otherwise we can wind up now and we will meet again at 2:30. Amarnath, you can propose the vote of thanks to Jyoti.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of DG and ICF, I extend heartfelt thanks to CCA Northeast 1, Sri Joydeep Guha, sir. Sir, it was an interactive session, although we have some hiccups, but it was managed in a very good way, sir. I hope
thanks to you.
All the representatives from ISPs have learned a lot about the recent reforms and the compliances about financial terms and conditions. So once again, thank you, sir. We'll meet again at 2:25.
Okay. Thank you.
Of the day. We have with us Mr. Akhilesh from Saras team, DOT headquarters. He will be taking this session on Saras. So now over to you, Akhilesh.
Has Akhilesh joined Amarnath?
Yes, sir, he has joined. We'll just talk with him, sir.
Yes, sir. It is audible.
So, are you able to see the presentation?
Yes, it is there.
Thank you so much. So, we'll start our session for Saras. So, in this session, we will understand like how to submit the AGR document in Saras, how to feed the AGR document in Saras for the quarterly and for audited after end of financial year, how to pay the license fee, how to submit the bank guarantees, how to view the bank guarantees, how to respond on the notices, bank guarantee notices, how to submit the grievances, and the most important, how to make the maker and checker user for your different licenses and authorization. So we will start our session, and you can ask me the queries because almost all the ISPs or access licenses are using SARAS system from last 1.5 year. So you can ask me your queries right away so that I'll try to resolve your all the issues. So this is our basic structure of SARAS system. We have around 15 modules in SARAS. So not all the modules are for the licensees for you. So we have around 9 modules available for companies, which is like 4 modules, which is the main modules of SARAS system, that is DVR, LF assessment, SUC assessment, and bank guarantee. There are 2 more module, which is grievances and knowledge bank, which is standalone modules. Like from grievance, you can submit your grievances. Through knowledge bank, you can view the orders issued by the department. So from that section, you can view the knowledge orders. From user management module, you can view the users of your different licenses. You can create users for different licenses. From dashboard and MIS section, you can view the pendency and you can view the different MIS. As of now, in licensee admin, there is one MIS available to view the GR, AGR, or LF payment system, LF paid for different licenses. This SARAS system is integrated with eSign gateway, SMS gateway, email gateway, and Bharatkosh for payment gateway. So you can make the payment using SARAS, but it will navigate through Bharatkosh. Whenever you submit any document from checker user to CC office or to DOT headquarter, it will submit it through eSign so that it will be confirmed, like it's authenticated and submitted by you, by your authorized signatory. SMS gateway and email gateway is for notification purposes so that you will get the real-time notifications from SARAS. This is the basics benefits of SARAS, and we have acronym that as a STEP: standardized, transparent, efficient, and participative. So in SARAS, we have standardized all the rules, guidelines, orders. In SARAS, we have built all the modules as per different orders or as per different guidelines issued by the department. We have reduced the paperwork because now you are submitting everything online through DVR module, LF module, or SUC module, or you are making the payments through LF module. You can view all the rules, orders, guidelines in knowledge bank module. So it's an online repository. As a transparency, you can view all the claims submitted by you in deduction claim module, and you can view the status of each claim in DVR module. You can view the AGR submitted by you. You can view the assessment. You can view the assessment calculation sheet. You can download the assessment calculation sheet in Excel sheet. You can download the assessment sheet in PDF format. So you can view the calculations done by the SARAS for your assessment. There's an online deduction claim verification module that is called as DVR module. So there you can submit your deduction claims. You can submit the different type of claims in DVR module, and you have to upload all your supportings like bank statement, invoice, or any other supporting document in online mode. And CCA office will verify that claim online in SARAS, and once they have done the verification, you can view like whether your claim has been accepted or not, and if it is rejected, so you can view the reason also, and after that you can submit the relevant documents or required document so that your claim may get verified. System is well integrated with different modules like LF, SUC, DVR, BG, all modules are integrated. So whenever your deduction claim is completed, the data will navigate through to the license fee assessment module. And once the license fee assessment is completed, then data will flow to SUC module for the final assessment. And whatever you feed in AGR license fee assessment module, whatever you feed in SARAS for the AGR entries, it will flow to bank guarantee module, and whatever you pay, it will flow to bank guarantee module. At the time of review of bank guarantee, system will check your GR, AGR or payments. So as per the GR, AGR or payments, system will calculate the additional bank guarantee or and system can generate the demand notice for the additional bank guarantee, and the CC office can view that demand notice and send to you for submission of required bank guarantee. Participatives currently like licensees or you can access the system. You can submit your required document. You can submit the license fee. You can pay the SUC. You can submit the bank guarantees through SARAS system. Earlier we have a system that is LFWPF software. There is no participation for the different type of licensees. So only department was the user in that system. You can submit your grievances online through this system. CCA office or DOT headquarter can view your grievances and they can submit the response. They can close the grievances. So you can view the response on the grievance online. This system is a role-based access control. So every user is having different roles as per their access rights. So like in organization, in licensee side, there's a different login for admin user, there's a different login for admin maker user, there's a different login for checker user, and all the access rights in all three users is different. This is the basic role of different stakeholders. If I say about the DOT or CGCA side, there's a three wings: LFA, WPF and LFP. So LFA wing, well, the role of LFA wing in SARAS is to scrutiny and verification of audited AGR of centralized licensees, LF assessment of centralized licensees, and grievance management. And like all the users can view the MISs, whether it's CGCA, CCA, DOT, or licensees also. So any licensee in SARAS system can access the MIS, but the MIS may be different for different users. WPF wing can access the spectrum allocation master data. They can manage the spectrum allocation master data. They can manage the bank guarantees of spectrum auctions. They can view the or monitor the SUC payments and assessments. They can manage the grievances. LFP wing can set up new licensees in SARAS system. They can manage the master data of licensees, monitor the payments and assessment of decentralized licensees. The same process for CCS. They can view the deduction claim documents submitted by licensees. They can verify the deduction claim documents. CC office can view the AGR, quarterly AGR or audited AGR documents submitted by licensees, and they can view and verify those documents. CCA office user can view the payments made by the licensees, whether it's LF or SUC. The CC office or CGC office, whoever is, can manage the bank guarantees of different licensees, and they can review, invoke, renew the bank guarantees. They can send the notices, different letters to licensees. They can manage the grievances. In case of licensees, they can submit the quarterly or annual payments related to LF or SUC through SARAS. They can submit the quarterly or annual audited AGR documents and audited PNL documents or reconciliation document in SARAS. So once you submit all these documents, your assessment can be initiated. You can submit the bank guarantees in SARAS, whether you can submit a new BG or you can renew the existing BG also. You can submit the timeline extension request if you require to submit the AGR after the timeline, or if you require the submit the deduction claim document after the timeline. You can respond on the bank guarantee notices or the assessment notices and after that you can submit the grievances. So this is the basic structure of different stakeholders in Saras. So these are the 9 modules available for licensees. So first is DVR module. DVR module is used to submit the deduction claim. So whenever you fill the AGR statement, so there is a part of deduction. There's a option for DD. So in DD option, you submit the deductions. So whenever you fill the deduction in AGR document, you have to submit the deduction claims through DVR module. You have to file the deduction claim to get the deductions, and you need to submit the bank statement. You need to submit the invoices or any other required document through this DVR module. Once you submit your deduction claim through DVR module, CCA user will verify that deduction claim and allow you that deduction through DVR module. The next module for licensees is license fee assessment module. Through this module, licensees can submit their quarterly unaudited AGR document or annual audited AGR document. They can submit the annual audited accounts and the P&L documents and reconciliation document through admin login, and you can pay the license fee payment quarterly or annual payment, or you can make the payment after the end of financial year, or you can make the payment whenever you receive the demand notice. Through SUC assessment module, you can pay the SUC charges if it is applicable to you. You can view the demand notice of SUC and you can respond on the SUC demand notice. Next module is the bank guarantee module. Through bank guarantee module, you can view your bank guarantees as of now available in CC office, or it is you can view the status of the bank guarantees. You can view the demand notices or the notices letter issued by the CC office for the bank guarantees. You can respond on that notices letters issued by the CC office. The next is the user management module, from where you can view all the users. You can view the users. You can create any other user. You can update the details of users. You can manage the bank detail of different licenses through user management module. In dashboard, you can view all the pendency items in dashboard. In MIS, you can view the GR, AGR or LF paid for different licenses. Through knowledge bank module, you can view the orders issued by the department. Through grievance module, you can raise your grievance. You can view the response submitted by the CC office on that grievance. So from now, we'll understand like how you have to use the Saras system. So I'm expecting the issues. If you are facing any issues in Saras, so you can ask me straight away, or we can have the query round after the session. So whenever you get the license from department, you need to contact to CC office, and after that you have to onboard on Saras system. So as of now, like all the CCs are providing a Excel sheet to different licensees. You need to fill that Excel sheet and you need to provide the required data to CC office so that CC office can onboard you on Saras system. So once you onboard it on Saras, you will get the SMS notification, email notification, or notification from CCA side that your user ID is this. You can generate the password by clicking on forget password link. So once you log in, so you receive first, whenever you onboard in Saras, you receive the admin login, licensee admin login from CC office or on the email from Saras. So once you receive the licensee admin login, you need to create the maker and checker user for your different licenses. So if you have two different licenses, or you have two different authorization under one license, you need to create the maker and checker user for both different license or both different authorization. So create a maker and checker user. You need to log in with the licensee admin login. After that, you need to go to the user management module, and there is an option for create user. So once you click on the create user option, this type of form will appear on your screen. So you need to select the license type there. You need to select the area of operation. So there is a query from a user, like any user manual. So user manuals are available in Sarah system. There's a video manuals are also available in Sarah system. You can download the user manual or video manual, whatever you require. So you need to select the license type, area of operation, license service area, and secondary switching area. And after that, you need to select the menu. So under menu, you need to select all option, and in role, you need to select maker and checker, whatever you are creating. So you need to create two users. One is maker and checker. So you have to fill this form 2 times for each authorization or license. For first time, you need to select maker, and second time you need to select the checker. Every time you need to select all option under the menu name. And after that, you need to fill the first name, last name, email ID, and mobile number and user ID. And as per the availability of user ID in Saras, system will display you whether the user ID is available or not. So you can create the user ID. So once you done with the creation of user ID, like maker ID and checker ID for any authorization, so you are good to go to make the license fee payment. You can submit the AGR documents through that maker and checker user. So we will start with a license fee assessment module. So here in this module, I'll tell you like how to submit the AGR documents, how to submit the audited AGR document, how to submit the annual audited documents in Saras, how to make the license fee payment. So to submit the quarterly unaudited AGR statement in Saras, you need to log in with the maker user first. So through maker user, you need to enter the details of from maker user, you have to enter all the AGR statement. You need to upload the scanned copy of AGR document in Saras. And once you done the entries of AGR document, AGR statement through maker user, you need to submit to checker, and checker will verify that statement, and they will submit to CC office after e-sign. So to enter the AGR statement detail, you need to log in with the maker, and you need to go to the license fee assessment section. There is an option for a statement of revenue. Here you need to select the quarterly statement of revenue entry. So once you select this option, then you need to select the financial year for which financially you are submitting this AGR statement, and select the quarter. Once you select financial year and quarter, system will display you a AGR document. So this is an example for AGR statement. So this AGR statement may vary based on your license type. So this is just example. So you need to fill this AGR statement as per the revenue heads applicable to you. So you need to fill this AGR statement, and in the last step, you need to upload the supporting documents like AGR, scanned copy of AGR document, affidavit, or any other document like cover letters or whatever you want to upload as per your convenience. So you need to fill this form, you need to upload the documents, and once you're done, you can submit this AGR statement to checker user for final submission. After that, you need to log in with the checker user. Checker on the dashboard of checker user, system will display a notification like there's an unaudited AGR pending at your login for submission. So checker user can view that particular unaudited AGR submitted by maker through dashboard or through menu option. So the option is same. You need to go to the license fee assessment module. There is a statement of revenue. Under that, you need to select the quarterly statement of revenue submission. Select that option. System will display you the AGR statement submitted by maker user and pending for submission. or you can directly go through the dashboard. So you can view that particular AGR statement fed by the maker user. You can review, and you can, like, checker user can review that particular AGR statement, and they can submit that AGR statement to CC office, or they can reject if any correction is required. Once you reject that AGR statement, it will roll back to again to maker user. Maker user can view that make that corrections, and they can resubmit to checker for submission. Checker user can submit to CC office once, like, if you think, like, if checker feels that everything is okay. So this is the step for submission of unaudited AGR statement. This unaudited AGR statement has to be submitted within 15 days from end of quarter. So once the 15 days is over, system will close the window for submission of unaudited AGR statement. You can further submit the unaudited AGR statement after getting the timeline extension from CC office. So you can raise the timeline extension request from your maker and checker login. And once the CC office will approve your request, then you can submit the unaudited quarterly AGR statement. This is the process for entry of annual audited AGR statement. The process is same. First, you need to log in with the maker user. You need to go to the license fee assessment statement of revenue. On here, after end of financial year, you need to select the option audited statement of revenue entry. You need to enter the details and upload that supporting documents like you have done in the quarterly unaudited AGR statement section. You need to do the same process. So, like, this is the sample AGR statement form. So you need to, at the time of audited AGR entry, you need to fill the figures for all quarters. So this is, yes.
Excuse me. Akhileshji, thank you very much. You are always there to help us. I just want to ask you one thing.
Yes, sir.
Once we submit our quarterly AGR and we fill all the AGRs quarter wise during each quarter submission,
Yes,
during annual audited AGR again we have to fill all the four quarters AGR here.
No, sir. If you have already submitted the quarterly unaudited AGR statement, then system will populate all the figures of whatever you feed during the quarters. System will populate all the figures here in audited AGR statement. You can submit the same if you think like all the figures are correct, and you can update the figures as per your audit.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
So this is the example of UL ISP statement. This is as per the latest reforms. So as per the latest reforms, we have added the non-telecom revenue items here, and we have included the concept of APGR also. So this is the section where we have changed in Saras. So you can add the revenue of non-telecom items, and you can subtract those items in less section, in DB section also. So we have added this feature as of now.
Sorry, sir. Can I interrupt you, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, what are the actually items which we can add in the non-telecom revenue, sir?
Sir, there is a positive list is already available here in Saras. You can go there and you can select the options in positive list.
While putting the AGR calculation, I will get it, or I will have to create it, because last time when I was filing the AGR of quarter 3, there was an option to add, and after that there was an option to create the categories.
Sir, the same process is continued as of now. So you need to enter the details as by yourself. You need to enter the head name by yourself.
Okay.
So in 11th A option, you need to enter the head name and you need to enter the amount.
Sir, can you just give a guess on non-telecom revenue, sir? Because there is a confusion, sir.
Sir, if you can log in with Insurus and if you can go to the slash section, if you can see on the screen as of now, the in less section, BB section, item number 3rd, items from other income as listed in positive list. You can see this as a positive list, and you can go to the TRI recommendation also on the TRI website. There you can see the non-telecom revenues heads are there already there.
Okay, sir. Before a while on the first session before lunch, it was discussed that if you have any other business, then you should create a separate entity for a ISP license. So, how will it help for not maintaining another company? Because single proprietorship, single directorship businesses have problem, and we as a VNO have lots of problem because first of all, when we procured the license, we didn't even know that we will have to reach the SARAS office. When the quarter came and they informed me what about your revenue, we were confused where to go and where to go. There was no such thing because the LSA also didn't inform us that you will have to go to the LSA office right now. So it became very
I understand, sir. So for resolution of this issue, we have addressed we have already addressed this issue in the last week of January. So like you whenever you get the license from DOT through Saral portal, now we have integrated this Saral portal with Saras. So whenever you get the license, you will automatically get onboarded on Saras, and you will get the automatic notifications from Saras that you are onboarded on Saras, and you will get the user ID directly through Saras.
Okay, sir.
Akhilesh, I have one point to add here. You have rightly said that whenever some new license is signed, there is a mechanism in place. Our license is onboarded in the SARAS. But sir, we are getting requests from various CCA offices that you have submitted your AGR statement when we submit first time after signing. So we are getting requests from various CCA offices to send the copy of license. So we have 22 CCA offices and we have multiple circle-wise services under VNO, that is PMRTS, access service. So these all are circle-based services. So if we start sharing, and these license agreement is a bulky documents. It can't be, sometimes it can't be sent over mails. We have to send in parts, 3 parts, 4 parts. So CCA offices should be, I think they may be or may not be aware that licenses are already available in the SARAS, and they need not to send the request to the licensee. Can you help in this regard?
Or sure, sir. We'll try to circulate to all the CC office that whenever they request any license from any licensee, first they need to check whether the license is available in SARAS or not. We'll circulate this.
Though you have already solved our issue on one-to-one basis, and we are thankful to you. But since we all are here, other ISPs are also there. It is in the larger interest of ISP, I have raised this issue.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thank you.
But another thing, I believe CCA always reach out to the registered office where the license is signed, whether it is Class C, Class B, or Class A. Suppose Class A license is signed, my license is signed at Agartala, means under any one or any two, whatever, Meghalaya, Shillong. So other CC offices will not ask me for anything. And license copy, I believe everyone asks for first 3 pages of the copy, whoever asks it.
Right, sir.
Okay. So next, Akhilesh sir, regarding that this less item, deduction item.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, para DD has some issues regarding which I have already issued mail to Northeast CCA, then SARAS portal, whatever the mail IDs I had, even that the letter received from Mr. I believe Ashok Gehlaut or Alok Gehlaut. I don't remember the exact name. So I have mailed back to them also regarding clarification. So para DD in deduction, that part is important.
So what's the issue in para DD, sir?
Yes, sir. 1 minute. That the letter of 25th October.
Yes.
From AS1, I believe.
Okay, sir.
So that letter quotes something in the later part where the explanations are given, which are the things are to be considered for. That is APGR.
Sorry, sir.
And,
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm so sorry, sir. Sir, this is the policy issue. So you can raise this query in the next session, which we'll start at 4:30. So there you
Okay,
can
done.
interact with the officers of the DOT. You can raise this issue because this is not related to
Yeah,
SIRAS.
that would be better.
This is related to
Someone
policy.
from
So
the
you
head
can
office.
raise. Yeah. So members from the head office, members from the different CC office will join at 4:30. You can raise this query at that time and they'll try to resolve your query.
And this is Praveen Sharma from
Okay,
ISP. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
In fact, today we had a meeting with member finance and we thanked him as we have thanked all of you for conducting these very helpful workshops. And we raised all these policy issues regarding non-consideration of the TD set order in both the cases and all of those issues. And member finance has been kind enough to ask us to give a representation for his consideration. And we will be summarizing all these in the 4:30 session. Also, I'll come and inform about the outcome of the meeting. Plus, all those issues I think will get considered in due course of time, which are policy issues.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, not a problem.
So the next step is the submission of the annual audited AGR statement. The process is same. You can once your submission is done from the maker user, you need to log in with the checker user, and here you can see the audited AGR statement submitted by the maker. You can view that AGR statement and you can view the supporting documents uploaded by the maker user. You can review. You can submit the same if it is correct, and if it is wrong or anything required correction is required, you can mark as a reject and it will roll back to the maker user for resubmission. And at the time of submission from the checker user, you need to e-sign with the help of Aadhaar. The next step is submission of annual audited documents, annual accounts. So you need to submit the annual audited accounts from the licensee admin login. So you need to log in with the licensee admin. You need to go to the license fee assessment, annual audited section, audited documents, and select submit annual audited documents. So once you select this option, system will display you this form. Here you need to select the financial year. You need to add the date of signing of audit report, date of AGM meeting. You need to upload the audited documents of the financial year. And if you have any reconciliation statement, fill the reconciliation statement using add reconciliation statement link, and you can submit the same to CC office. So once you submit your audited AGR and annual accounts from licensee admin login, your assessment can be initiated. If your any document is left, your assessment cannot be initiated. So please check from your login whether your annual accounts has been submitted through licensee admin log or not. If it is not yet submitted for 1920, 2021 or 2122, you please submit from your side. Also, I request to all the licensees to submit audited AGR document for 1920, 2021, 2122 from your login so that your assessment can be initiated through SIRAS. So next procedure is the license fee payment. So how to make the license fee? So to make the license fee, you need to log in with the maker user. You need to go to the license fee assessment payment, and here you need to select the AGR based LF payment if you are paying based on the AGR. Now, once you select the AGR based LF payment, the system will show you the three options: quarterly license fee, annual shortfall, and payment as per assessment. So you need to select the appropriate option. If you are paying for current financial year, you need to select the quarterly license fee. If you are paying for any previous financial year, any shortfall amount, you need to select the annual shortfall option. And if you receive any demand notice through SARAS, then you need to select the payment as per assessment. So if you select any option, this is the example screen for the quarterly license fee option. So if your AGR is already submitted from maker checker user, then system will show you the AGR as per the quarterly statement of revenue, total license fee based on that AGR statement. If any license fee is already paid for that quarter, system will show you that, and as per the adjustment, system will show you the amount payable as per the AGR statement. If you have not submitted any AGR statement, then you can also pay the license fee by clicking on that checkbox in available at amount payable. Enter your amount, whatever you want to pay, enter the payment remarks, and submit the same from maker user. So once you submit, you can process the rest part of this payment from the checker user. Now here in checker user, you need to log in with the checker user. You can process the rest part of the payment. You can view the payment part on the dashboard. So you can view the payment entries done by the maker user. You can open the entry. You can select that entry, whatever the payment you want to make. Select that entry. System will show you whatever the entries done by the maker user. You can review that particular entry. You can process with the payment. So under the payment, there are three methods: online payment, offline payment, and payment using demand draft. So if you want to make the payment through online option, then you can pay through debit card, credit card, net banking, or UPI option. And if you select offline, then you can pay through NEFT and RTGS option. And next is you can pay by the using DD. So you have to enter the details of the demand draft. You have to upload the scan copy of DD in SARAS. So if you're paying through online option, once you select the online and you proceed, system will navigate you to Bharat Posh. There you have to select the payment gateway and you have to make the payment using credit card, debit card, net banking, or UPI. And once your payment is completed, you will navigate back to SARAS portal from Bharat Kosh. And if payment is successful, then you can generate the GR6 and GR7 for that payment. So GR6 and GR7 are the final payment receipts for the payment.
Hello.
You can.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Is it possible to send the PDF copy of this document?
Yeah, we will circulate this PPT to all the licensees, or this PPT is already available with the CC offices. You can get the copy from the CC office also. So GR6 and GR7 are the final payment receipts. So you can confirm the payment after getting the GR6 and GR7 from SARAS portal.
Sir, is it online available?
It's not online available. The manuals are available online. So video manuals are there. User manual in PDF formats are already available in SARAS portal. You can log in SARAS. You can download the videos. You can download the PDFs there.
Akhilesh, one thing.
Yes, sir.
It is observed since last 1 month that whenever we update UTR number in Bharat Kosh portal, earlier it was not taking so much time, but nowadays it is taking sometime 2 days time, and we have to raise the issue to the help desk teams for the receipts and challans are not generated even after updating the UTR number. And in the last transaction, in our transaction, it took more than 2 days time.
So I'm coming on that part only.
Okay.
So the next option is a demand draft payment. If you are selecting as payment using TD, then you can select the proceed button, and there you will need to upload the scan copy of demand draft. You need to enter the details of demand draft, and once you enter all the details, you need to submit that demand draft to CC office. CC office will verify that demand draft details from their login. Once CC office approve your demand draft details in Saras, you will get the final payment receipts through Saras. So once the verification is completed by the CC office, Saras will generate the GR7 for the payment, and you can get the GR7 from Saras under it. The GR7 is available under the view all payment details, and this option is available in checker user. The next option is the offline NEFT RTGS option. So whenever you select this offline NEFT RTGS option, system will navigate to Bharat Post portal. From there, you can download this deposit slip. This is the example for deposit slip. So you can get this deposit slip through Saras, through Bharat Post. After that, you need to go to the bank and you have to process the payment. You will get the UTR number from bank. Once you get the UTR number from bank, you need to log in checker user, and there is an option for manage offline payment. There you need to select the URN number for which you had made the payment. Select that URN number, enter the UTR number which you receive from bank, enter the NEFT transaction date, submit the same. You will get the provisional receipt instantly, and within 24 to 48 hours, you will get the GR6 and GR7 for the payment. So, for Sani sir, this quarter, we are getting the issues from Bharat Post side, and Bharat Post itself getting the issues from the RBI side. So that's why in this quarter we are getting the responses like after so many days, like maybe sometime it takes 2 days or 5 days or 10 days. So this quarter we are facing the issues from the Bharat Post side. But your success date will remain same whenever you have made the payment. Like if you have made the payment on 14th of January, so system will generate the receipts of 14th January only.
Right.
Sir,
So
sir,
yes.
may I ask you one question, sir?
Yes.
Sir, I want to know that if we make a payment directly through Bharat Kosh.
Yes. No, you cannot make the payment directly through Bharat Kosh.
No. After we are redirected from Saras portal, no, sir.
Yes.
We are paying. We are redirected to the Bharat Kosh portal for payment, and
right.
After that we make payment and we get a success receipt. So
correct.
At that time also that we need to send the payment details to the CC office manually.
No, like once your payment is successful, CC office can also view the GR6 and GR7 for that payment from their login.
Okay, sir. So we don't have to worry for that now.
If your CC office
because first 2 quarters I was not having the net banking, so I made offline payment through RTGS transactions. At that time I was not well versed with the system, so they helped me to upload it. But later I have choose to use the direct payment option only. So I just want to confirm that in this case we don't have to intimate the CC office for GR6 and GR7 separately.
Whether if your CC office asks for the payment receipt, then you have to submit, or you can communicate, like they can check through Saras system. But whenever your CC office asks, you need to submit.
Okay, sir.
And one more thing I would like to add. After making the payment, you will go to CCA office for submission of your AGR statements, right? And in AGR statements, you need to take a print of the GR6 and 7 and attach with the AGR statements and the affidavits which you submit there. So submission to CCA office, I think it is continuing yet.
even after making the online payment.
Sir, we maybe after some time we'll remove this check. Like you need to, you don't need to submit the offline copies to physical copies to CC office. So we are checking this feasibility, and maybe in some time we can remove this option.
Very good, sir.
So you can get the final payment receipts under the payment details, view all payment details. This option is available under checker user. So the next module is the bank guarantee module. So you can view all your bank guarantees, whatever is available with the CC office under the view bank guarantee option. You can log in with the maker and checker user. You can go to the bank guarantee option, select the view bank guarantee option, and click on search. So a system will display you the list of bank guarantees for your company, for your that particular license. So you can view all the bank guarantees here. If your bank guarantee is not available here, you can contact to CC office so that they can add, or you can add from your side. So I request all the licensees kindly view your bank guarantees from this section. So that like CC offices can directly send your notices, letters through SARA system for that particular bank guarantee. In case if you receive any renewal notice from CC office, so you can view that particular notice under view issued notice option. You can view that notice. There's an option for respond button there. You can click on respond button to respond on that notice. There's an option for download. You can view that particular notice there. If you click on respond button, system will display you two options, whether you can enter the new BG or you can modify the existing BG in case of renewal. So if you select modify, the existing BG, then you have to, the system will display all the details of the bank guarantee on the screen. You just need to upload the updated bank guarantee copy on SARAS, and you have to enter the expiry date on SARAS. If you select option to add new bank guarantee, then you need to enter all the details of bank guarantee like bank guarantee number, start date, end date, and you need to upload the scan copy of bank guarantee in SARAS. So once you complete this process from maker user, then it will goes to checker user for final confirmation and submission. Checker user will verify your response, and they can view the response and they can submit to CC office. They can approve or reject the details and they can submit to CC office. The next option is to
one question about bank guarantee, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when just suppose I am a VNO class C, at that time I was I have given 5,000 rupees bank guarantee. After that, in the last review meeting, I was told that the bank guarantee have been reduced to 1,000 rupees for C class VNO. So, but at the same time, I got a notice of an extra bank guarantee amounting to rupees 17,000. So this was because they told me that because your revenues are improving and it's going high, according to that, the new bank guarantee have been calculated.
Okay.
So, sir, I just wanted to ask that, is it possible to have an extra amount of bank guarantee so that, because every time bank guarantee cannot be done, na sir? And can we have a larger expiry period of the bank guarantee rather than 1 year?
So, sir, for this you can contact to bank and they can provide you the bank guarantee for the larger period.
Okay. Sir, how is the bank guarantee calculated on the later stages?
Sir, bank guarantee is calculated based on your last 2 quarters revenue. So whatever your revenue, system will, like, there's a calculation formula. There's an based on that your last.
Suppose 2 quarter has been paid of 45,000. What will be the new bank guarantee, say? 45.
So as per the latest formula, you need to pay the as per last 2 quarters plus 10%, then the 20%.
Okay, you mean to say that 45 is 90 plus 10%
Plus
is
10%.
99,000, and of 99,000 we will have to keep the bank guarantee to 20%.
Correct.
Okay, sir.
So to submit the release request for any bank guarantee, you need to submit the request from maker user to checker, and checker to submit to CC office. So
Suppose the bank guarantee is coming to an odd amount. Can we round it to the nearest amount, or we will have to
Sir,
pay the exact amount, sir?
sir, can we finish this presentation, and after that we can take the queries?
No issue, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. So you can submit the release request from maker user. You log in with the maker user, select the option bank guarantee, select manage bank guarantee, select release bank guarantee request, and system will display you all the bank guarantees available with CC office. You can select any bank guarantee. You can select multiple bank guarantees. Submit the request with reason. So once you submit this release request, it will goes to the checker user. Then checker user will login in their login. They can view the request submitted by the maker user. They can view that request. They can submit to CC office for final release. Then CC office can view that request on their login, and they can approve your request or reject your request. The next module is the grievance module. So you can submit the grievances through grievance module. You can go to the raise grievance option. There, once you select this raise grievance option, then system will display you this type of screen. There you can select the grievance category. You can select for action. That means you can select the CC office name to whom you are sending this grievance. You can select for information if you want to keep in loop any other office or DOT headquarter. You can enter the subject, and you can enter the query, enter your grievances, and you can upload any document, and you can submit this grievance. After that, CC office can review your grievance, and they can respond on that grievance. Once you receive any response from CC office, you can view on dashboard, or you can go to the view grievance option. There you can view the latest update on the grievance. The last module is the user manual and videos. So we have created the videos for each module, and we have also created the user manual for each module. So you can access those user manuals from Saras system. You can log in. You have to log in, and once you log in, there is an option for user manual. Click on that section. System will display you all the user manuals there. You can download the videos or PDFs, whatever you want. For any issue, you can contact our helpdesk team. You can contact to Shri Jatin Kumar and Shri Pradeep Chaturvedi for any queries in Saras. You can contact him over phone or email, or you can contact to respective CC office for any issue, for any resolution of any issue in Saras.
Akhilesh, you are not audible.
Sir, okay. Sir, now we can take the queries of Saras.
Okay, you have finished your presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the participants are requested to raise questions one by one. I request that one person should not ask more than two questions because we want to give chance to everyone. Amarnath?
Yes, sir. On it.
Can I start,
So,
sir?
yeah, yes.
So my question was related to the bank guarantee. That
Yes.
suppose I have some odd figure related to calculation of my bank guarantee. So can I extend the bank guarantee to the nearest amount, which is rounding? So suppose it's 18,667. Then can I go to 20,000 or 25,000? Is there any problem with the CC office if they can accept it or reject it?
You can discuss with CC office, and I guess like there is no issue with that. Like if you are increasing any amount.
Okay. So one more thing that as I am a new ISP, just started in October 2020, I got my license. There were some confusions related to AGR calculations and all. What happened at the end of the end of the assessment year of AGR? There were some very small amounts, like 3 to 4 thousand of left amount of AGR. So, how can we repay it?
So you can pay through Saras system. You can go to the license fee assessment module and you can pay through the payment section.
Okay. So, sir, is there anything that after the audit report is submitted, the CC office will intimate me the exact amount which have been left by me to repay
So
it?
CC office will intimate you after end of assessment. So they will do assessment, and once if any demand is raised during the assessment, they will tell you.
Okay, sir.
If I may interrupt, may I ask from which CC office do you belong? More Wi-Fi Internet Private Limited.
Hello.
Yeah, can you tell the name of the CC office?
Sir, I am under West Bengal LSS, West Bengal CCA, sir.
Okay. Then we will get your question in the next panel discussion session. You will get the answer there.
Okay, sir.
Akhilesh, one thing I would like to ask you. It's an operational issue. I don't know whether you will be able to answer or it should be taken at last session. But let me ask you. Submission of AGI documents, as far as is concerned, the payment date is fine. That is 15th from the close of quarter. That is, there is no compromise, and we do not seek any exemption on that because it's a license agreement. The only issue we are raising here is with regard to submission of AGI documents. Like 15th is the date for payment, and it's a big amount. If suppose it's a huge amount, then company would like to pay on the last day. And after that, we will have to get affidavits ready and notarize and rush to notary wala and then get it notarized. So in this time, and there is a Saturday Sunday again. So after that, there is a Saturday Sunday or there is a government holiday. So in that case, our request is that after payment of the license fee last day, that is the 15th, we should be given at least 10 days for submission of online documents, minimum 10 days, because at the same time our audit is going on, quarterly audit. Our board meeting is scheduled and our audit is going on. Auditors team is there, and our persons are engaged with them also. So this is an operational issue. If the department can consider, and we are not seeking any sort of financial exemption, and there will be no loss to DOT because license fee is already paid. It's a matter of only submission of documents because we have to raise time extension request on SARAS, then we have to follow it up. So it takes time of licensee and licensor also, because licensor has to sit on that and see the time extension kahan se aaya hai, usko unhone respond karna hai. So lot of time can be saved on that. So I leave it to you whether you can answer or we should raise that for 30 hours.
So currently, Saras is working as per the license agreement conditions. And if you are aware about all these challenges for the payment and for the document submission, I must say, like, you have to complete all the processes before the last date. And if you have any challenges, you can raise this question at 4:30.
Sure. Thank you.
This is from Symbiosis Broadband, Nagaland, and this question would be for CCA NE2. We had made a mistake in calculation in Q2. It was more of a clerical error. We had submitted it on Saras platform, and we found that it was shown as rejected when we went to file for Q3. We could, of course, a query had come from the office, a physical letter had come, we had explained the matter to them also, and it was resolved verbally at least. But then on the Saras platform, we see that we cannot correct it. We cannot correct the filing that we had done in Q2. So it still shows as rejected. How do we go about correcting that?
So you can correct by there's an option to you can re-enter that values whatever you have mistakenly entered during first time. So you can re-enter those values and you can resubmit after getting the timeline extension from that office, because your Q2 timeline is already over. So you have to take the timeline extension request first, then you can submit the same. And in case of any issue, you can contact us. We'll help you out.
Okay, thank you so much.
And also you can there is another option. You can submit the correct figures at the time of audited AGR entry.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Any other queries? Yes.
Sir, I have a query. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, I am from Hostel Telecom. I have a query. We have received a notice regarding revised financial bank guarantee. So it says that we have to submit a BG of 20,000 against which our old financial bank guarantee will be released. So I would like to know the process of releasing our existing financial BG.
Sir, I have explained in the last session of presentation. You can raise the release request from maker user and checker user. So once you raise the release request from maker checker user, it will goes to CC office. Then they will release on Saras. Once you get the confirmation on Saras, you can get the BG from CC office.
Okay, so thank you.
Okay, Akhilesh sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Akhilesh sir, your mail ID is akhilesh1.tiwari@in.ei.com. Is that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, you might have received. I have forwarded you one mail. I don't know where from I got your mail ID. Might have I got it from CCA side or someone. I have forwarded regarding that AGR calculation.
Okay,
so
sir.
I have mentioned.
We'll check and we'll respond, sir.
I have to send because you can very well see the trails also. So everything is asked in that mail.
Sure, sir. We'll check and we'll respond on that email.
I have sent it from suresh.s.favnet.in. Suresh mail ID basically. Okay, sir.
Any other query related to Saras? Any problem you faced during LF assessment, submission of AGR document or annual audited documents or payments or bank guarantee, you can ask me.
Akhilesh, I would like to say one thing. Whenever we approach you, you are always there to help us. and Ankit sir is also there. All the team at DOT headquarters always reachable, helpful, and responding to our queries. So we want to thank you here for that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, if there are no more questions, we can start the question answer session. Amanda, kindly check with the principal CCA and all the CCAs of Eastern Zone. Ask them to join, please. So that
yes, sir.
continuously we can start the final session.
I would request all the CCA offices kindly respond that can we start the session. I would request respected Principal CCA Delhi, sir. Sir, can we start the Q&A session? With your permission.
So can we start the question answer session so that we can finish early? But okay, sir. In 5 minutes, sir will be ready. In 5 minutes. By that time, if any other question remains about the SARAS, participants are requested to ask.
The panel discussion will take after around 10 to 15 minutes only. So meanwhile, we have received one message from CCA Bihar. Sir has requested that if you have any query related to CCA Bihar office, then kindly type the message in the chat box. So you're kindly requested to type the name of the CCA and which pertains to which CCA, so that they will be able with reply. Respected Principal CCA Delhi, Mr. Sahbaj Ali sir, with your permission sir, I would like to start the Q&A session and panel discussion.
Sure.
Before the panel discussion, I would like to introduce Mr. Sahbaj Ali sir. Sir is 1989 batch HAG level IP taps officer, currently working as Principal Controller of Communication Accounts in Office of Principal CCA Delhi. Sir joined this service in the year 1990. Sir was posted as ACAO in MTNL and served in MTNL Delhi in the initial years till 2001. After that, Sir was posted in BSNL Shillong also, where served at DGM Finance till 2004. Sir was again posted in MTNL Delhi. Then Sir held the office of Principal CCA Delhi, joint CCA position, and later CCA Delhi position till 2010. Sir was also posted to DA2 headquarters at DDG Accounts and TPF from 2010 to 2014. Later on, 2014 onwards, Sir was posted as CCA Assam. So Sir has done a lot of stint in Northeast. Now, Sir, from the year 2015 to 21, Sir was on deputation in NMDFC, Ministry of Minority Affairs, where Sir performed his duties as Managing Director till 2016 and then as Secretary cum Managing Director till 2021. Sir completed his tenure as CMD in NMDFC on deputation, then joined DOT and was posted as Principal CCA Delhi till current date. So, with Sir also we have CCA officers from East Zone. So welcome all the CCA officers. Sir, now I hand over the panel discussion to you, sir.
All fellow colleagues from Eastern Zone and fellow participants of Eastern Zone. A very warm good afternoon to all of you. I am also looking after the charge of Principal CCA Kolkata in that capacity, and head of the Eastern Zone, and in that capacity I am before you. Let me first apologize on behalf of DG and ICF. He was supposed to be chairperson for this panel discussion and the session on do's and don'ts. But due to some other pressing urgent meeting, he had to go there, and I have been asked to shoulder this responsibility.
Sorry for interruption. Director General NICF has also joined. No.
Okay. So,
yeah, my meeting got postponed to 14th.
Then, sir, you can take over. I'll be an onlooker only, sir.
Please carry on. Please carry on. I'll just be there. You are there.
So I have been. I was there in the first session in the morning, and I was in the inaugural session and the session which was taken by Harshvardhan. My all kudos to Harshvardhan. He has made a very nice presentation and answered various queries also. But before that, let me also tell on this screen that I believe that all the CCAs or the head of the offices who are in the Eastern Zone, they are online. So if any one of you is not there, please join immediately. So I have been told that there are about 150 small operators of ISPs in Eastern Zone, and more than 100 operators, either themselves or their representatives, are participating in today's discussion and awareness, come workshop, come training program. I am also confident that various sessions which have been taken by our officers from CCA offices, they must have answered most of your curiosity and queries. And the task must have been made very easy for this panel discussion. Even then, if there are certain queries which have been left unanswered, we would try to answer here, and some of the queries, if we find that it has some policy decision connotation and which require attention of policy makers or the licensor, then we would be taking down and we would try to get the requisite clarifications from the competent authorities, and then probably the answer would be before you. So before that, before starting our panel discussion in the North Zone Conference, we have given a small presentation about do's and don'ts. So if DG and ISF agrees, we can do the same presentation, and thereafter we can start our panel discussion.
Yeah, please go ahead. It is you are chairing this meeting. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So I request Nikhil Srivas, my colleague with me as joint CCA, to make a brief presentation about do's and don'ts. Though most of the things would have been covered in the day-long session, but even then, to refresh your memories and to recharge you, let us do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A detailed presentation, as sir is pointing out, has already been presented to you throughout the day, in which most of these do's and don'ts have been discussed in detail. This will be only a refreshing session for you. So some of the do's in the case of license fee submission are to timely submit the license fee as per the terms of license agreement. It is very essential, as even a delay of a day will attract a penalty of the complete month. So it is requested to all the licensees to please submit license fee as per the terms of the license condition. That is, for the quarter 1 to quarter 3, it should be submitted within 15 days of the completion of the quarter. For quarter 4, an advance license fee on the basis of expected revenue should be submitted by 25th of March. For quarter 4, any difference in the actually payable and the license fee paid, this difference has to be settled by 15 days from the end of the financial year. And any difference between the audited AGR statement, that is the license fee payable after the auditing of the accounts of the company, and the paid license fee, the difference should be paid by 30th June of the following year. This is a brief calendar for the license fee payment. The similar thing that from quarter 1 to quarter 3, it should be by 15 days of the end of the quarter. For quarter 4, an advance license fee should be submitted by 25th of the March. Then the settlement between the payment paid and the payable as per on the self-assessment basis should be done by 15th of the April, and the final settlement between the audited account and the license fee paid should be done by 30th of June. Some of the do's with respect to the submission of reports are that during the submission of the license fee itself, a self-assessment revenue statement should be submitted along with the affidavit for the payment. The submission of the annual audited report and the quarterly report should be done on time. For the annual audited report, it should be done within 7 days of the signing of the audited report. The licensee, it is very essential to know that a licensee should report all the revenues from all the sources which the company has attracted. If this is not done, then the add-backs are done in the AGR statement, for which deduction claim might not be admissible. So it is very essential to include all the revenues in the AGR statement, and in case if you feel that it is under the allowable deduction, do include in the deduction also. In case deduction is requested for the GST and the GST or service tax is shown in the revenue statements, it is very essential to provide the necessary documents or the records verifiable at the end of the CCA with regards to the GST payments. Some of the do's in respect of the bank guarantees are, as per the license agreement, initial bank guarantee should be submitted for a period of 1 year, and thereafter, after each annual date of expiry, prior to that, a month prior to that, the licensee has to renew its own bank guarantee. This has to be done by the licensee on its own without any prior notice from the licensor. So each and every year before the expiry of the license or expiry of the bank guarantees, it is very essential to renew the bank guarantee in advance without any notice. Even if you need a notice for some clarification from the bank or some compliance from the bank, feel free to ask it from the local CCC office. In case the bank guarantee is encashed for any violation on the terms and condition of the license agreement, it is very essential to restore the encashed bank guarantee on time. Any failure to do so in the restoration of the encashed bank guarantee will be treated as a violation of terms and license condition. Some of the do's with respect to SARAS are that SARAS take due precaution to both fill the documents, fill the accounts, as well as to upload the account. Sometimes it is noticed in the field that either of one stage is completed by the licensee, and due to non-submission of the other stage, the accounts are not reflected in the part of the CCA offices. It is very essential to know that until or unless the annual accounts are submitted by the licensee, the license assessment procedure cannot be initiated. If there is any delay in the initiation of license assessment procedure, it will attract interest up to the date on which demand notices are generated. So kindly fill and upload the annual accounts on time. Similarly, quarterly self-assessed accounts should be filled, audited annual accounts should be filled, and any detail related to bank guarantee should be filled. Sometimes it is noticed that while uploading the scanned copies, some of the copies are not legible, some of the copies are not clear. So wherever scanned copies are uploaded in the SARAS software, it is requested to provide the clear legible copies. Some of the don'ts in respect of the license fee payment are, the firstly, don't pay license fee late beyond the due date, as I have pointed out that any delay even by a day will attract the penalty for the entire month. One more important thing is that there have been 2 settlement dates which have been discussed previously in the calendar. One is the settlement between the annual account on the self-audited basis and the license fee paid throughout the year. That particular settlement has to be done by 15 days after the end of the financial year, that is by 15th of April. And the second is by the signing of the audited AGR. In case any difference is there between the audited AGR and self-assessed AGR, the difference has to be settled by 30th of June. Any shortfall in the payment in the license fee will attract the interest and penalties if applicable. Some of the don'ts in respect of the bank guarantees are that sometimes the licensee wait for the final month and the final date for the bank guarantees to be revised or to renewed. It is requested that initiation of the process at least for the renewal of the bank guarantee should be taken in advance. As per the license agreement, it is mandatory that to renew the bank guarantee prior to a month of its expiry. Still, it should be kept in the mind that timely renewal of the bank guarantee should be there, and bank guarantees even during its renewal should be renewed for a minimum duration of 1 year. It is very essential to know that if bank guarantee expire, such encashment of bank guarantee is non-refundable. So try your bank guarantee not to get expired. Then don't delay in the restoration of bank guarantee if encashed. Again, I will repeat the same thing that in case of non-restoration of bank guarantees, if encashed, can be treated as a violation of terms and agreement, and any penal clause can be initiated against you. With this, I would end my presentation here, and I will request all the participants before they present their question to please state the name of your company, of your licensee, as well as the license area to which you belong, the circle office to which you belong. Thank you.
Okay, now the forum is open for question answer. First of all, I would request Mr. Kumar, who was asking the question in the morning. Mr. Kumar from Bihar circle. आप अपना क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं. सीसीए बिहार इज अवेलेबल.
क्या बोल?
Mr. Kumar from Bihar.
आप अपने को अनम्यूट कर लीजिए मिस्टर कुमार.
हेलो, आवाज आ रही है सर?
अरे ये बोलिए.
हाँ जी बोलिए.
सर 2017 में मुझे एक लाइसेंस मिला था, 6 महीना वैलिडिटी था.
इंट्रोडक्शन दे दीजिए, अपना इंट्रोडक्शन दे दीजिए कि क्या
एसके कम्युनिकेशन, यूएल VNO पटना. तो सर 2017 में यूएल VNO का लाइसेंस मिला था मुझे, जिसकी वैलिडिटी 6 महीना की थी. और उसके बाद फिर 2019 में मुझे 10 साल की वैलिडिटी के लिए लाइसेंस मिला, और दोनों समय हमसे बैंक गारंटी लिया गया सर, और दोनों अलग अलग लाइसेंस नंबर था. तो वो बैंक गारंटी अभी तक रिलीज नहीं हुआ सर, उसके लिए क्या करना होगा?
6 महीना. तो 6 महीने वाला बैंक गारंटी उसके बारे में कह रहे हैं कि रिलीज नहीं हुई है.
जी सर, 6 महीना वाली बैंक गारंटी रिलीज नहीं हुई है.
अच्छा, सचिदानंद, सीसीए बिहार. सीसीए बाहर है
सर. सचिदानंद अनम्यूट कर लो अपने आप को.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर.
गुड आफ्टरनून. बताइए क्या इनकी अब इशू है?
सर इनका इशू हमारे साथ जो ISP मीट होती है सर, उसमें भी ये रेज कर चुके हैं सर. ये मैटर जो है सर, हम लोगों ने रेफर किया पहले DOT को कि आप हमें बता दीजिए. हमारा भी यही था कि जो उनका पुराना जो एक्सपायर कर गया है उसका लौटा देना चाहिए. इनको क्या हुआ था कि दोबारा लाइसेंस रिन्यू न करने के बदले उनको एक नया लाइसेंस बनवा दिया गया था DOT हेडक्वार्टर से. उसके बाद में हम लोगों ने फिर इस मैटर को टेकअप किया है सर CGCA ऑफिस से भी, लेकिन अभी तक कोई रिस्पॉन्स नहीं आया है सर. वी आर वेटिंग फॉर सम रिस्पॉन्स. हम लोग कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंस कर रहे हैं सर. अगर हो जाएगा तो हम उनको लौटा देंगे, क्योंकि उनका दिया हुआ है 6 महीने का था सर, फिर उसको फर्दर एक्सटेंड किया गया था 3 महीने के लिए ऑल इंडिया बेसिस पे. ये 2017 का केस है सर.
उस पीरियड का उनका जो 6 महीने का लाइसेंस था उसकी कोई नो ड्यूज भी है?
नहीं सर, इसका असेसमेंट फाइनल नहीं हुआ है सर वहां से हेडक्वार्टर से सर. उसमें वो हेडक्वार्टर करता था सर ये.
अच्छा.
हाँ, तो लेकिन हम इस सर को बहुत विगरसली इसको परस्यू कर रहे हैं सर हम इसको. और ये अभी CGCA के नोटिस में है. CGCA ने लिया होगा सर DOT हेडक्वार्टर से, उसकी जानकारी हमको नहीं है. लेकिन अभी कुछ दिन पहले हमसे मांगा गया था कि आपके यहाँ इस तरह के कुछ इशूज है तो वो बना के भेजिए. तो उसमें इनका भी एक इशू था सर, वो भी हमने बना के भेजा था सर.
तो आप क्या क्लैरिफिकेशन मांगे हैं उनसे?
सर इनका जो लाइसेंस है, इनका फाइनल असेसमेंट वहां से वो कर दें. वो लाइसेंस ऑलरेडी एक्सपायर हो चुका है और उसको वो लोग क्लोज कर दें ताकि हम इनको लौटा दें. बस यही क्लैरिफिकेशन मांगा है सर.
लाइसेंस एक्चुअली जो आपका कहना है कि जो क्लोज हो गया उसको टर्मिनेशन ऑर्डर हो जाना चाहिए, है ना?
ये एग्जैक्टली सर. अभी वैसे भी 4 और ISP IT हैं जस्ट, उनका भी हमने टर्मिनेशन के लिए लिखा था. तो अभी जस्ट शो कॉज नोटिस इशू हुआ है, बट प्रोसेस थोड़ा स्लो चल रहा है सर. चलिए.
अच्छा, इसमें टेक्निकल विंग का भी नो ड्यूज का कोई इशू होगा ना, जिसने लाइसेंस इशू किया होगा. तो आप जैसा कह रहे हो कि उस टाइम वो DOT का DS डिवीजन कर रहा था, है ना? यही आप कह रहे हैं. ठीक है.
पूरी तरह से हमारे हाथ में ये है नहीं सर. नॉट कंप्लीटली इन माय हैंड, इन दिस ऑफिस हैंड एक्चुअली दिस मैटर.
ठीक है. तो अभी हमने लास्ट रेफरेंस कब किया है CGCA ऑफिस को?
ये 21 का है सर, जनवरी का सर. ये बात है.
कुमार जी.
जी सर.
आपने सारी बातें सुन ली होंगी अभी जो हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे थे.
जी सर.
तो आप थोड़ा सा और अपना पेशेंस रखिए. हम लोग इसको क्लैरिफाई करा के,
जी सर,
ऐसा है कि आपका जो ड्यू बनता है, जो भी मतलब बैंक गारंटी वापस होनी है वो तो होनी है.
जी सर.
और जो प्रोसीजरल चीजें हैं वो पूरी कंप्लीट हो जाती हैं. आपको पता है कि सरकार में उसके बाद फर्क हो जाता है. तो हम लोग भी अपने यहाँ से कोशिश करेंगे कि जल्दी से जल्दी जो भी इश्यूज हैं इसमें वो आपके रिजॉल्व हो जाए और आपकी बैंक गारंटी वापस हो जाए. तो थोड़ा आप हमारे साथ कोऑपरेट करिए.
जी सर. मेरा इसमें एक चीज और कहना था सर.
फरमाइए
कि अगर उसमें कोई ड्यूज है तो वो हमको बता दिया जाए, नहीं तो उस पे झूठ मूठ का हमको इंटरेस्ट
नहीं, बात आपकी जायज है, तो आप इसको हम लोग दिखवाते हैं कि कोई अगर होगी तो आपको बता दी जाएगी, और कोशिश ये करी जाए कि जल्दी से जल्दी आपका ये मामला सेटल हो जाए। तो
जी सर,
थोड़ा सा
धन्यवाद।
और आप इतना दिन आपने धैर्य रखा और इतनी कॉपरेशन करी, थोड़ा सा और करिए।
जी सर, धन्यवाद सर।
नेक्स्ट
क्वेश्चन प्लीज।
द फ्लोर इज ओपन। अगर कोई पार्टिसिपेंट के पास कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो तो वो पूछ सकते हैं किसी भी सर्कल से।
Hi, this is Jaydeep, and I am from Symbiosis Creations Private Limited, Dimapur, Nagaland. Am I audible, sir? I mean, I don't know.
Please, yes.
I'm facing some network issues at my end.
Please continue.
Yeah, thank you. So, sir, this is first of all, this particular session that has happened. I would like to say thanks to all of you because we have come to know a lot of things today. Had this happened quite some 8-10 years ago, we would be saved of a lot of hassle that we are facing today. But then I would like to bring out certain issues that we, especially people in the Northeast, are facing, and this is in regards to the license that was issued to us in the year 2004. So this is not a UL license. This is a license which was issued before that. 2004, the license was issued, and it was supposed to expire in 2019 November, and in the month of June 2018 we migrated to UL license. Now, when we signed the license, there was no LF. We are a Class C licensee. There was no license fee mentioned in our license as such, but supposedly in the year 2012 there has been an amendment which says that we are supposed to pay license fee on AGR. Somehow we have never received that amendment, but then it is also said that the ignorance of law is not an excuse. So we take it, we say that, okay, we have not received it, but then I'm sure this was amended and this was effective. Now, from 2012 till 2019, there has not been a single communication with us in matters of pending AGR or pending LF for almost 7 long years with us. In the meantime, for many years, every 3 years, the bank guarantee got renewed because they had specifically written to us from the Shillong office that the license is supposed to be, the bank guarantee is supposed to be renewed. So every time a letter came, we renewed the license, we renewed the bank guarantee duly, but never was there a query or revocation of bank guarantee or any penal action or anything till date on the old license till 2019. Yeah. So, had it happened, I think Harshvardhan sir is here, we had been speaking to him. So, of course, he has come here now. But earlier in the year 2020, we had been to Shillong, and this discussion had happened amidst all the licensees of Northeast. And we were told that, of course, again, it is verbal. I cannot say that it was given to us in written, but then it was told that as far as the old license is concerned, the AGR issue is not something that they are going to take up. But then now we have got a letter that we are supposed to, do the calculation and self-assessment and pay the LF for all these years. Now, that is okay as far as the law is concerned. Now, I do not understand that since nothing was informed to us, of course, our fault is there. If you say by the law part is there, it's our fault that we have not paid the LF or we didn't calculate or we didn't give the papers. But then for all these 9 years, when the department was actually communicating everything, as far as the other things are concerned, renewal of BG and everything, why was this not communicated to us that there is a pending, LF which is supposed to be done? Had it happened, we had been paying very regularly since migration of UL. Of course, we make mistakes.
duly corrected by the CCA office here in Dimapur, and we make our payments. But then, now, how do we remedy this? For the last 9 years, from 2012 to 19, when the CCA office has not communicated with us, not done any action, not informed us ever that we are at fault, how do we correct this, sir?
Okay, Mr. Jadid, your question has been understood. I request Harshavardhan, would you like to reply?
Thank you, sir. Chair, sir, actually it is a grievance, and the kind of anger was also very apparent. Sir, I would like to respond it this way, sir. Once, sir, my office started functioning on licensing finance in the year 2020, because this was Symbiosis is my largest licensee here. So we did raise a demand on them कि आपकी कोई भी documentary compliance, कोई भी financial compliance कभी हुई नहीं है, तो अब it is right time you started. एक लेटर गया, फिर दूसरा भी लेटर गया. We have all the records sir. कि but अभी हमको सिम्बायस ने कुछ समय पहले बताया कि वो लेटर इनसे मिसप्लेस हो गए थे. But it is a human error. हमने फिर से इनको कॉपी दे दी है. Before 2020 sir, we do not have complete confirmation, complete record. पर जरूर CC anyone से कुछ communication हुआ भी होगा. But it is very important for us to appreciate, sir, that as far as the license agreement, its terms and conditions are concerned, all the effort that CC offices take, all the efforts that they make to obtain compliance is like a proactive thing that CC offices, the assessing authorities are doing. It is not a right of the licensee कि हमको तो आपने बताया ही नहीं तो हम क्यों करेंगे. सिम्बायोस का ऐसा है कि 2012-13 से रेवेन्यू शेयरिंग रेजिम जब इंट्रोड्यूस हुई, तब से इन लोगों को डॉक्यूमेंट्री कंप्लायंस और फाइनेंशियल कंप्लायंस दोनों दी जानी थी इनके द्वारा. बट 12-13 से लेकर टिल डेट हमको सो थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है ये इशू बहुत. इन देयर एग्रीमेंट इट वाज रिटन दैट अ लाइसेंस फी ऑफ ₹1 is to be paid. But actually, Symbiosis never made the payment of even that ₹1. 12-13 में revenue sharing regime introduce हुआ. It was hosted on DOT's website also. उसकी कोई compliance नहीं हुई, कोई documentary नहीं, कोई financial नहीं. और from the year 2020 onwards, हम regularly इनको बता रहे हैं कि आप कर दीजिए. पर हाल ही में इनके जो authorized signatory हैं वो हमारे पास आए और हमने उनको बोला कम से कम प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट वगैरह तो हमको दीजिए ताकि हम असेस तो कर पाए कि आखिर कितने ड्यूज हैं विभाग के. तो उन्होंने बोला नहीं, मेरे तो प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट सब गुम गए हैं, फलाना. काफी सारी बातचीत हुई. हमने यही कम्युनिकेट किया है सर फाइनली लाइसेंसी को कि देखिए आपको डॉक्यूमेंट्री कंप्लायंस आप दे दीजिए, डिमांड्स ताकि एज असेसिंग अथॉरिटी हम रेज कर पाए, एंड देन वी शैल सी कहाँ पर किसका फॉल्ट है, कैसे हो. बट नॉट कोऑपरेटिंग विद द कैलकुलेशन ऑफ द डिमांड. हमने लाइसेंसी को क्लियर किया है कि दो दे हैव नाउ ऑब्टेन्ड अ यूनिफाइड लाइसेंस, their old license has expired, but as per the letter of intent that was issued to them before the UL agreement, before the signing of the UL agreement, as per the letter of intent, it is obligatory on this ISP to clear all its dues from the previous license. Otherwise, the bank guarantees that they submit as compliance to the provisions of the UL agreement, those bank guarantees can be encashed for the non-payment of dues of the previous license. तो हमने सर जो कुछ भी जानकारी हमारे पास है वो हमने इनको प्रोवाइड कर दी है. नाउ वी आर अवेटिंग कोऑपरेशन ऑफ द आईएसपी से. कॉम्प्लिकेटेड.
My 2 cents to it. Sir, this is a pan-India issue. Even in the northern zone, we are pursuing from here. It requires policy level clarification. But as far as license agreement goes, it requires that bank guarantee should be alive. So Jaideep ji, I would request you to please bear a bit more of a time. We'll soon issue, we'll get a clarification. As soon as we get a policy level clarification as to what assessment and how it has to be done, whatever the existing rule will be, we'll do it. Till then, you keep your bank guarantees alive. The similar case is there throughout India for the ISP's licenses which were issued prior to 2012.
There is one catch here, Nikhil. Nikhil, there is one catch here.
Yes, sir.
The All India issue pertains to the treatment of pure internet service revenue. कि pure internet service revenue पर LF लेना है नहीं लेना, then TD said judgment, Supreme Court, everything. But why we are insisting upon submission of profit and loss account from this particular licensee is that they have non-telecom income, huge non-telecom income. So even if the pure internet service, I keep it aside because it is sub judice, because it is policy issue, but its LF liability on the non-telecom, substantial non-telecom income, I need to assess it. So that slight difference is there. Pure internet service, as you said, perfect. It's policy issue.
So are you saying? So that's what. So now the first. Yeah. So,
Mr. Jadip, are you satisfied with the reply?
No. Now, first.
No, you are not audible. Your voice is breaking. I think we should.
Which came by Harshvardhan sir. The first letter.
Mr. Jadip, you are not audible.
Yes, Mr. Jaydeep, you are not audible.
Which came from Shillong was.
Another question from a new person. New question from new person.
And we had attended that. Not hello.
Okay, please.
Jaydeep, you are not audible. So till the network issues are sorted out, we'll move on to the next question.
Yeah. Next question, please.
Sir, this is regarding submission of quarterly statements in the Saras portal. Sir, what happens? The date of payment is the 15th from the close of the portal. So normally companies who pays huge license fee normally likes to pay the payment on the last day or one day prior to the last day, and then documentation is there. Affidavits, preparation of affidavits, getting it signed from the authorized signatory, going to the notary, getting it notarized, and then uploading on the portal. And in between, if there is a Saturday, Sunday, then I think it is 17, 18 or sometime 20th. So nowadays we submit our request to the CCA Delhi or whosoever the concerned CCA for the time extension. My suggestion to the senior officers here is that we should allow a licensee to extend the date of submission of the documents only, not for the date of payment. Date of payment is fixed as per the license agreement. So this will help us. This will help us to submit the documents without raising a request to in the Saras portal. And CCA officers are also then they have to respond whatever time extension request has been received from the licensee. One by one they have to respond. So this will save a lot of time. One more thing I would like to add here, that our quarterly board meetings are scheduled in the third or fourth week of the month in which license fee is paid. And audit team is also there in our offices to we have to comply to the stock exchanges. So those kind of pressure is there, and we request if the time is extended till 25th only for the submission of the documents. This will ease the doing of business for the telecom companies. We are not seeking any financial exemption or any concession, and there will be no financial implication for the DOT also.
Okay, we have taken a note over it, Sani ji. Thank you. Next question, please.
Hi, sorry, I had missed out on responding to Harshvardhan sir. If you allow me, please, would like to complete this discussion. This is Jaydeep from Symbiosis. Shall I go ahead?
Yes, please continue.
Yeah, thank you, Harshvardhan sir. I was finding it difficult because I was in a zone where the network was not good. So the point was, the first letter we got about this was in 2020, just before COVID started. The first letter came from Shillong, and we duly attended that meeting. And in that meeting, the discussion had happened, and post which no follow-up had happened on that letter. And the next letter came 1.5, almost a year or more later now, about this particular AGR issue. Now, our question was, yes, we never said that just because you had not, informed, or CCA had not informed us, we are not supposed to pay. आपने बताया नहीं, हमने दिया नहीं. And that was not my tone. What I am saying is, we didn't know. And what we are saying is, just like, this kind of session happened, some communication happened, and the first time anything happened, some penal action happened, some letter comes like that, we come to know, okay, we are making a mistake somewhere, we need to correct it. But then for 9 long years, that didn't happen. 7 long years from 2012 to 19, that didn't happen with the old license. And that is what, for which we are asking, what remedy do we take? Number one. Number two is that the calculation part. We also do not know what is the calculation to be done on, for which we had already written, and you have given us time. Now, you had mentioned in this meeting that we have huge, non-telecom revenue is what you are mentioning here. Now, we have not submitted our papers. I think that is one mistake, I accept, and thanks for correcting that. We would definitely, try to see to it that those papers are submitted. But then, we do not know on what the calculation is to be done. Is the calculation to be done on non-telecom revenues? I think many of the people have asked in this forum whether LF is applicable on non-telecom revenues, because just imagine a state like ours, Nagaland, where we are operational only in 2 small towns of Dimapur and Kohima, maybe lately, Mokokchung now. Very small places. 10 years ago, what would be the broadband penetration? Hardly 200, 300 users we had. We survived on other businesses. Are we supposed to pay LF on all the businesses that we had done? These are the queries we have. I think as far as CCA is concerned, we don't consider you just as the collection agent of the government. You said you are here to help us. We wanted to understand what is the help that CCA is going to give us. We need clarity on things. It is not. We cannot survive on 200, 300 customers, 100, 150 customers. For years, we had actually survived without any government aid, without any government help to increase the broadband penetration of the company. And today, when we are aggrieved, I'm not saying that we are not here to follow the rules. We are here to follow the rules, but please tell us how. We need a remedy. We need help from you. We just don't need all the information that this will be the penalty, this will be the interest. Yes, I think these are all written very clearly.
Mr. Jaideep.
Sir, please.
Are you able to listen, Mr. Jaideep?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm intervening between the discussion. What I can understand from your anxiety is that there are certain issues which needs to be resolved, and those issues are basically, or they do pertain to certain policy level decisions. So I would request that, without getting into altercation or any kind of argument, I think we should utilize this platform for a kind of raising the grievance, and then we are here to redress the grievances. So I would request you that whatever are the issues which we were spelling out here, please communicate in writing to Harshvardhan, and I would request my colleague Harshvardhan to take up these issues with LFP division of DOT for a policy decision, and we would be in a position, I'm sure, that it is not that it is only in your area of Nagaland. These kind of issues, they keep coming up, and we are in the process of resolving those issues. So please don't get disheartened also. We also want that you should run a good business, serve the people, give a customer-friendly services to the citizens of the state and the country, whatever it is. So please, I would request that you send your whatever the queries or whatever the clarifications or issues, please send through a mail or a hard copy to Mr. Harshvardhan, and Harshvardhan would then flag it with the policy division of licensing finance. And from our side also, we'll request the DOT fellows to look into it and give a clear cut and early clarification, so that you keep running the business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay, next question, please. Next question from new person, please.
Sir, can I say, sir?
Please continue.
Sir, I have actually no question. Actually, I want to request you. There should be a certain forum where we all ISPs along with the CCS can interact, where we can put common questions and we get answers, whether from CCS and other ISPs who have been facing such issues. They can also guide us that in this case you should do this, because sometimes what happens, sir, there are variable answers, but we cannot judge it. So it can be ranked, because there are many websites when we work in IT software development. There are many forums where we get correct answers, and it should be done, because time is emerging that.
Can I ask you for which state you do represent?
Sir, I am from West Bengal, and Darjeeling is my SSA, sir.
Okay. I didn't get your name also.
Hari Kishan Goyal, sir.
Okay.
More
What I would suggest you that if there are certain issues which pertain to your LSA or to the CC offices of West Bengal or Kolkata, you please flag those issues. We have the WhatsApp group also. Whether look, a issue cannot be a kind of a pan-India clarification. There can be a specific issues related to your LSA. If there is a pan-India kind of issue, then DOT is there to take care of that. But if smaller issues or clarification which pertain to your LSA or to the CC offices of your respective LSA, there you can raise that, and I'm sure that there are WhatsApp group on which you get clarifications also. In case if there is no such social media available, my colleagues are here online. Madam Snigdha is there from West Bengal, and Volte and Vivek, they are from Kolkata office. They will take a note of it, and you can get in touch with them, and probably I'm sure that you will get answers to your queries. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
This is Praveen Sharma from ISPI. Sir, additionally, Mr. Goel, we have got association like ISPI, where we collectively collect the issues pertaining to, and workshop is being held by DOT headquarters and the CCS, and we are very thankful for these workshops, where all the issues are collected, and on all the policy related issues there have been a comprehensive discussion for past 2 days and today also, which we have collected. Sir, yes, today we had a meeting with member finance sir also, and we are going to submit on the policy issues. He has directed us to submit a lot of representations on various other issues, sir, like pass-through charges and telecom activity revenue. So all those clarifications which are required, we had a discussion today with member finance also on that, sir. It has been a very useful exercise to get to all the issues which have been raised, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma.
Apart from that, sir, I would like to add that when the member finance inaugurated the workshop, he also mentioned that CCAs are conducting some quarterly or half-yearly meeting with the licensees also. If they can also, if some of CC are not conducting, they can start conducting, so that their problem, specific local problem, can be resolved.
Sir, in any two, sir, we have a WhatsApp group where all the ISPs are the members. I am myself the member, and we do answer queries on that WhatsApp group itself.
Perfect. Congratulations.
Next question,
I
please.
think name. If we have, I'm left with just 10 minutes. So if there is any other information or queries, let us do it
sir.
fast.
We will wind up at 4:50, sir. Okay. Next question, please.
Sir, this is Suresh Singh from Balaji Telework under NE Ceylon, Class A SP. So recently regarding
Mr.
this
Suresh, you
amended
are not
AGR
audible.
calculation issue.
Mr. Suresh, you are not audible. Please.
Just a minute, sir.
Or you can type your question in the chat box, please. We will note it down and forward it to Mr. Joydeep Goa and also to Principal CCA. Okay. You can write down your
Okay,
question.
no, sir, am I audible right now?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay, I removed that video. Okay, sir. See, my request would be whenever we put up some queries to CCA, any CCA, I believe the first thing should be to have some response on that mail. Regarding this amended APGR or AGR calculations, I started one mail in the first week of Jan. Then again I asked for some query or some answers second or third week of Jan. Then again recently I got some mail ID, Mr. Akhilesh Tiwari. Who was also taking the platform for clarification. I got mail IDs, then I intimated him also. Sir, I have already mailed, and you can see the trace so that you can just have some clarification. Already one quarter we have submitted the license fees and all.
Akhilesh, are you there, or Ankit Anand? Would you like to reply? Ankit or Akhilesh?
Even Mr. Ankit is also there in that mail.
Ankit, are you there, or Akhilesh? Okay, both are not there. Amarnath, please write down the question what Mr. Suresh Kumar Singh has asked. We will forward it to Ankit.
Even in this mail, even CCA Northeast, where we submit our details and all whatsoever. So all those mail IDs are also included.
We have noted down, Mr. Suresh, we have noted down your questions. We will forward it to Licensing Finance Division of DOT headquarters. Thank you. Next question, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next question, please.
Yes, sir. This is Rehan from Macbilla. Sir, I have one query. Whether an ISP licensee can deduct the amount paid to the upstream provider bandwidth charges in filing the AGR statement, quarterly license fees statement.
From which circle you are speaking?
From Calcutta, sir.
Calcutta, okay. Snigdha or Walter? In which area? You are in West Bengal area or?
Yes, sir, West Bengal area.
Okay.
Macbilla is from our region, Calcutta region. We are managing from Office of Principal CCA Kolkata. Can you kindly repeat your question once?
Sir, I would like to know whether we can deduct the upstream bandwidth charges paid to the TSP in filing the AGR statement, quarterly license fees statement, under the pass-through.
Okay. Okay, will that fall under the pure internet deduction or not, right? That is your query?
Whether it is fall under the pass-through charges, can we deduct it in AGR?
May I request which particular license you are having? Are you having UL ISP? In the UL ISP, currently the pass-through charges clarification has to be come from DOT. Till now, as far as pass-through charges goes, it is not allowed. So we wait for the further clarification after the recent reform, but till now the license agreement does not permit for the pass-through charges for the upstream bandwidth that you are getting.
Okay, as Mr. Praveen Sharma also mentioned that they are meeting with the member finance regarding pass-through charges also. So whenever the clarification comes from DOT, all will be informed through CCS. Next question, please.
Sir, I believe from October 2021, pass-through under UL ISP has been allowed. There is an amendment issued by DOT headquarters. Under UL ISP, pass-through has been allowed.
Nikhil or Vivek, would you like to reply?
What we'll do, sir, is I'll look into it personally. You may write to us, and we'll look for that particular order which you're talking about.
Vivek, I would like to intervene. The
Yeah.
clarifications are yet to come from DOT regarding the pass-through charges. I once again reiterate this. So Secretary ISPI was also mentioning this recently. So once the clarification will come, the similar steps will be taken in the CC office.
Okay, Nikhil, thank you. Any other question, please?
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello. Hello, sir. I'm calling from Microdoc Communications Private Limited, Kolkata, West Bengal. Sir, I have one query regarding other income. Normally, while calculating the AGR-based LF payment, we have to consider the all revenue part. But in case of other income, which is the particular other income not considered in AGR calculation? So, like VoIP, we are currently providing VoIP, like voice over internet protocol. Is it considered other income?
The means whatever we got from your question is that you are asking the clarification regarding other income to be included while calculation of the license fee.
Yes,
Am I
sir. Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, yes, sir.
So the clarification, a detailed clarification will come regarding which incomes are to be included and which incomes are not. Some of the income in the recent reform have been allowed for the deduction by DOT. You can refer to the recent reform that is available on the DOT website. And any clarification which is requested, you are requested to please represent it in the writing in case further clarification is required in any particular head. So there are certain heads like interest on investment, insurance, such kind of deductions are not now applicable. That is available in the recent reform of the DOT on the DOT website.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for your.
Okay, because today's question answer panel discussion chairman, Mr. Shahbaz Ali, will be leaving. He has to join another meeting at 5 o'clock. So I request Shahbaz Ali sir, before leaving, if you want to give some message. After he leaves, we will continue for another 10 minutes, the question answer. But I request Shahbaz Ali sir, if you want to give any message before leaving.
I would only like to mention that I'm sure that the day-long session would have been a very beneficial session for all of us, not only the small operators, their representative, as well for our own colleagues in the field offices. And the sessions must have been a very enlightening session for all of us. I'm afraid that some of the queries which might have occurred to your mind may or might not have been answered or left out. In such a situation, my request would be that please mail or send a letter to your respective CC offices if there is anything which has been left out. And they in turn would, if they are in a position to clarify themselves, if it is within their realm of affairs, if it has some policy kind of issues which needs a decision from top brass or competent authority, then they would take up with LFP division. But let me assure all our colleagues from the industry and the ISPs, rather internet service providers, that there is an attempt, and you must have noticed that the views of government of India is very, very clear to bring reforms, to bring ease of doing business, bring, or rather to support the industry, The industry should survive. In the first day of inaugural session, our Secretary Telecom has very clearly said about all these things, and he also said that there should not only be a kind of rather there should be a kind of dialogue between licensee and licensor. And he also said about enhancing the services and delivery system of the services. So I am pretty sure that our colleagues who are providing the services, they will do the things within the ambit of rules and law of the land. And whatever the benefits which the government thinks that has to be passed on to you, the government will take all such corrective decisions. And in times to come, you will find that there are many such reforms which are coming to see the industry survives. So at the last, I would again request all the participants from the service industry that if they have any query or any clarification which has been left out, please send it to your respective LSA rather CCA offices. And in turn, my request would be to my colleagues from all CCA offices in Eastern Zone to pay due attention and try to resolve what can be done at their desk level, and whatever is beyond their scope of work, they will take it up with the respective authorities. Thank you very much and have a very nice time.
Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of NICF, all the participants and all CC offices, I extend a very, very gratitude and thanks for attending the question answer session and also the elaboration of the today's workshop. With your permission, sir, we will continue question answer session for another 10 minutes. I request all the CCA to kindly be there, continue the question answer. And our Director General is also there and he will also chip in whenever required. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, sir. So please allow me to leave this stage, rather whatever you call it. And
yes.
As Mr. Nim was telling, अभी करना है कुछ? हाँ, sir, please go ahead. But please excuse me. Thank you very much.
Continue for another 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next question, please.
Next up, I need a permission to talk for 5 minutes. I've got some medical emergency, so I have to leave. So I just wanted to brief about what are the issues which we are going to take up so that everybody knows that. With your permission, if I can talk for.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. What we have spoken regarding the bank guarantee rationalization, sir, some of the CCAs and the field units, they are holding up the rationalization on account of various court cases or court cases dues. So there it has been clarified that the court cases dues are not required to come in the way of bank BG rationalization. So on that, we are going to give a separate representation to DOT headquarters. On the BG return, as one of the members have discussed, there are a lot of BG returns which are pending and the licenses have expired some 3-4 years back. So those kind of issues are also required to be expedited. On that, we are giving a separate representation. On pass-through charges, what is the meaning of pass-through charges as given in the ISP license? There is a clarification which is required. Presently, it has been referred to TRAI, but member sir has very graciously agreed that letter representation be marked to both member technology and member finance, and they will thereafter examine, and if possible, they will take a decision even without clarification from TRAI. Then on court cases implementation, where the imposition of license fee on pure internet services is stayed in TDs and in case of the old licenses, and has been set aside in case of UL ISPs. There also such kind of license fee should not be imposed subject to the final outcome of the court orders. Then thereafter, there is a clarification on revenue from the non-telecom activities while computing the APGR, on which what we have requested it that let TRA, that issue is referred to TRA. What our request is that in the explanatory memorandum, there is enough explanation to give an answer to this. And TRI should be requested that they should only refer to the explanatory memorandum and give an answer if it is possible. Because if they go for a consultation, then it will take another 6 to 9 months. And having that uncertainty in the finalization of account to such a long period is not desirable, to which members has agreed. So these are some of the issues which I wanted to brief the members and the ISP colleagues that this is what we are doing as an association. We have taken up all these issues and the representations will be going in. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sharmaji. I hope that all the participant licensees must have taken note of this. Any other question, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, just now we were told that under UL ISP there is no pass-through charges allowed. I am sharing a document. I am sharing an order of DOT headquarters. When my screen comes, please let me know so that
the link for the document is already been shared. You can click it.
It is there.
Saniji, you belong to which circle?
Sir, I am from Delhi. We have UL ISP, Tata Communications Limited.
Okay, kindly forward your document to Delhi circle and we will look into, because you cannot see the screen now.
Is it there in the screen, sir? It is 25th October order under UL amendment, license amendment dated 25th October. In that, under chapter 9, internet service is there, and in that internet services there is a definition of AGR. In that definition, it is mentioned. I am just going to read it to save the time of members. Deductions part, it is said that charges of pass-through nature paid to other telecom service provider to whose network the licenses network is interconnected. This is A. And B is roaming revenue passed on to other eligible entitled telecom service provider. And C is goods and service tax paid to government if applicable gross revenue had included as component of GST. So these are the three deductions allowed from the gross revenue under UL ISP license, sir. This is what I wanted to submit. The date of the order is 25th.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Sani. Anyone from CCA would like to comment on this? Otherwise, we will take note. Aswardhan, yes, please.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the contention of the ISP is correct, sir. In that, this was also a part of the telecom reforms that pass-through charges, expenditure of pass-through nature was allowed as deduction to UL ISPs. But sir, as the Secretary SPI just mentioned, there is no clarity as to what is pass-through charge. So on that part, CCAs need clarification, and that part is under consideration, as Sir Secretary SPI just said.
Okay, thank you. I think Mr. Sani, you must have got. Yes, you want to say something? You want to add?
Sani ji, I would like to request you to make a representation, a written representation to CCA Delhi. We'll take this case up with the DOT.
Sure. You want to say something? You want to add something?
Yes, sir. It is on the lines of the Harjavardhan sir said. It needs policy level clarification.
Okay, let Joydeep add something.
But if you look at this order, then this order has been issued by the ASV, and revenue-related orders, ASV is not supposed to issue anything related to the revenue-related matters. So unless or clarification is issued in this regard from the appropriate section of the DOT headquarters, I don't think it will have any implication. That's my segment.
My submission, sir, it is that this is the amendment issued by the licensing branch, and this is the license agreement. License agreement is binding on licensor and licensee. Yes, sir. So this is the amendment issued by the government, by the licensee, by the licensor and licensing wing. So I think if there is a doubt to
that's why I think Nikhil has already asked you to give this issue in writing to the CCA Delhi office, because you are transacting with CCA Delhi office.
Mr. Sani, kindly forward your request to principal CCA office. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Thank you. Next question, last question only.
language is very simple, sir. In this order, the language is very simple, sir. Charges of pass-through nature paid to other telecom service provider to
Okay,
whose
no
network
problem.
the
We have
network
noted
is
down your
interconnected.
problem. We have noted down your problem. Kindly forward. We have also noted down. We will also forward.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir.
Last question, please.
Sir, I'm from Manipur, Malang Solution Private Limited. We have a Class C license. Sir, we have issue in starting in filing the AGRs, but Harshvardhan sir and his team guided us, and we have started filing regularly since I think 1 year, and we are very thankful to CCA NE2 for their cooperation and their help to us. So one issue is that here in Northeast, we have our bandwidth charges very high. Means we cannot compete the national level players here. Here Airtel has come, Jio has started their service since last 2-3 years, and we are facing defeat in many locations where they are active. So one issue is that even the A-class ISP are operating here through their franchises. But issue we come to know, but we don't have any paperwork like that. They are collecting their fees are collected by their local operators only. Means the franchisee, those who are operating franchisee, they are collecting their monthly charges. Means these Jio, Airtel, they are collecting through their portal. But those ISP, A-class ISP, who have their operators here, local operators, their local franchises, they are operating here, and they are collecting this. They are billing locally through the local franchise. So is this? I think I don't know. Is this platform right platform for asking this or not? Is this possible? Is this allowed or not? That's
Okay, Harshvardhan, it is your area or Joydeep's area?
It is my area, sir.
Okay,
Malang
please reply.
Solutions. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Malang Solutions, for your kind words. Like we were just doing our duty. Thank you. Sir, this issue of unauthorized, like providing internet services unauthorizedly, and continued existence of licensees which are absolutely non-compliant. These are the two issues, sir, on which we have had multiple discussions with Malang Solutions. Yes. Both the areas are a bit beyond the CCA's mandate. But what we have done, sir, all the inputs that we received from Malang Solutions regarding unauthorized operations, we have shared those inputs with the concerned LSA, because as per the license agreement, to look into such kind of complaints, LSAs are the mandated organizations. And we have issued multiple reminders also to LSAs कि कुछ action ले लीजिए under intimation to us, कुछ input दे दीजिए. But LSAs are not cooperating, sir. But now because this has come up again, I will again send a reminder with copy to Principal CCA, sir.
Sir,
And as sorry.
If possible, sir, can we have a discussion like this? Means at least once in a year with CCA and those who are involved in this telecom operation, ISP licensing, everything, whoever. So we can discuss issues like this once in a year, sir.
Yeah, I agree with you. To DDG Saab, I would suggest that if somebody from technical side also joins us in these kind of seminars, so ek jo part hai, they can also take care. Sir, one more thing, sir, regarding termination, sir, we are pursuing all the termination cases. Like after making recommendations of termination, we pursue them very effectively with the concerned wing, DS wing of DOT headquarters. So in one of our case, the final, it has already reached the final stage, termination proceedings. And in two other cases, we have recommended termination. But yes, sir, the procedure is too long. And we have made submissions to Office of CGC also that this termination procedure should be time bound. Like in no way should it extend beyond 1 year, sir. Because these players, they make no LF payment, no documentary compliance, but they continue to exist in the market. And on the other hand, we have compliant players like Malang Solutions, who are paying 8% LF. So basically, the non-compliant, they are having a margin, 8% margin, profit margin over the compliant players. So we have recommended to senior joint CGCA साहब इस termination पे कुछ फासन हो सके तो. So this is my comment, sir.
Okay, thank you, Asmadar. Thank you all the participants. We have noted down your questions. If the questions which has not been resolved, we also expect that all the CCAs must have also noted down the questions. We will forward it to NICF, also forward it to licensing divisions, and I request CCAs also to forward to the licensing or their CGC office. Before I request, as far as the technical point is concerned, our Director General will say something about this. But before I request Director General to for his valedictory remarks, I request any CC, if anybody, any CC has to say something or today.
Sir, with your permission, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, going forward, sir, like there was an order from DOT headquarters about appellate provision in the assessment of decentralized licenses. So that order says, sir, that all the appeals lies to the office of CGCA. So sir, like this is one point because now our assessment orders, sir, as the awareness is spreading among the licensees, they have their grievance against our assessment demands. So from this financial year onwards, especially, we are encouraging all our licensees to file appeals. And sir, my concern is that if appeals from all the ISPs, all India, they start like going to office of CGCA, there can be, sir, so there can be problems with that, sir. There can be pendency and associated issues, sir. That is one point I wanted to say, sir.
Okay, thank you, Harshvardhan. Snigdha, you want to say something? Okay. Now I request Director General NICF to kindly give his valedictory remarks for today's workshop.
Thank you, Neem. First of all, I thank all the participants of this program. This program was the brainchild of the Secretary Telecom to reach out to all the small licensees who are working at the grassroots level and train them, make them aware of the rules, regulations, the terms and conditions of the license agreement. This is in addition to the regular quarterly or half-yearly meetings which the field offices are having with the licensees. That will continue. The objective of this forum was training, which was facilitated by our institute, NICF, on the direction of DOT headquarters. As I mentioned in the morning, we tried our best to enrich these sessions within a very short span of time. But in future, we hope that we will also rope in the technical persons who will be guiding our licensees on the technical matters. There will be others, maybe business specialists also, who will be guiding them on the business models and so on. There is no limit to the capacity building. Till such time, we were engaged in building capacity on the supply side. Now we will also be doing the same for the demand side. So I thank again to all the participants and especially to the licensees who have joined and raised their issues. And I promise that all these issues which you have raised will find place in our report, which will be submitted to the Secretary team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging remarks. And also, I think participant must have heard that our Director General has assured that next time whenever we conduct the meeting of such type, workshop of such type, we will rope in some technical persons also and some business experts also. Now, I request my Deputy Director Amarnath Oja to kindly propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir. I would like to thank Office of Principal CCI Delhi and Principal CCI Delhi Sabaj Ali sir and his team for chairing this panel discussion. I would also like to thank all the CCAs from the East Zone who have contributed in this. And DG NICF, Shrikant Panda sir, who will take up this capacity building program to a larger extent. And at last, DDG sir for monitoring this whole session. So thank you again, sir.
Thank you, participant. Thank you, DG sir. Thank you, all the CCA. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.